Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and I'm super excited for tonight's stream and really looking forward to being here with all of you. We've got a wide variety of items, and as is always the case, I've tried my very best to come up with some cool stuff, and I'm hoping that that pays off in the form of a really fun atmosphere. So first off, how's everybody doing? Trumsky, Goshi, Money Collector, Cadillac, L. Prayford, Dalton, November, Ezel, good to see you, Bergen, Dano, Goldhound, ya boy, PD Blah, Trey Boats, AP Coins, Money Collector, Cuppies. We got some notes. Yes, I'm going to wait until there's some pretty rare stuff in here. I'm going to wait until we have a few more people in the stream. I always get started, and there's generally some pretty good deals with some of the first material. Everything tonight is going to be starting bid 9 except for a few really nice items, but there should be some stuff that goes for deals in 15 seconds. So I'll start with this uncirculated 1960 half dollar. Is this a Bugs Bunny? I'm not sure that it is. Mandy Forever, Vinylholic, Miss Bell, Angie, good to see you, Andrew F. Tons of material tonight though, A. Boater, and I'll look forward to seeing how it ends up. HB Pete, good to have you here. Yeah, no, this is a nice one, and as is always the case, I have a really wide mix of different material. HB Pete for $11, very nice start there for HB Pete. That's a pretty good coin, and I always start with a few different coins, take some losses, sort of get things heating up. This one is a nice 605 AD, pretty good detail of Focus and Leontia Fallis. We have a really nice 40 Nomus on the back. The Theou is going to mean that it's from the Antioch Mint, and really nice piece of history. Bookmark the show for that first sale deal. Yeah, exactly. I think I paid 16 for that. Yeah, I do have some 2 cents and some 3 cents. ROF2, good to see you. Silver Queen, Thane. Helms family in the lead on this, and we'll see where it ends up. Cadillac, I was not surprised to see this thing going higher. I mean, really nice piece of history, and I think it's got a great look to it. Looks like Cadillac gonna win it. Colorado, yeah, no, it is cool, and I do my best. I'm actually only seeing that I don't have 3 cent pieces tonight. I do have one 2 cent piece. I have some shield nickels, but I'll start on the 2 cent piece and get that started for us. And then in the meantime, everyone make sure to look, because I did do, I think, a pretty good job of getting a really nice mix of inventory for this sale. But yeah, a solid 2 cent piece, pretty clear detail on both sides of the coin. Firehouse, Leonard, now Ross, good to see all of you. And so, excited to see what everyone here thinks. SB Crex, how's it going? And hope everybody's also having a good Sunday. Leading up to Christmas, I figured it would be fun to do some sales. This is the only 2 cent piece that I have tonight, so wanted to show some of the cool inventory, and I'm going to be taking a bit of a hiatus after this one. Oh, that's awesome, Miss Bell. Really nice to have you here. Billy Blast, good to see you. I feel like I really look forward to the Whatnot sales, just because it's a great chance to see everybody here. It says, Shannon, that's your first purchase for me. Congratulations. Welcome to the channel. Let's do a billion. Shannon, it says your payment is having a little bit of issue, but just as a heads up, no rush. Not meaning to call you out, just so that you're aware. It was a pretty good grab, I thought. This one right here, hey, Ashlyn, good to see you. Dario, another good friend of the channel, but this is from 253 to 268. It's a Galenius Roman Imperial Antoninianus. Really nice portrait on the reverse. It's worn, it's a Billion coin, and they had a lot of monetary debasement in that 3rd century AD, and lots of coins in front of this. Dr. Bismarck, good to see you. Plumber Guy, 11, D. Landis, JP Connell, doing a mix all across the board. Lots of US, lots of ancient, lots of world. There's some pretty fun lots, I think, as well. And Leonard 7286 gonna take that one. Really, really cool piece of history. Maybe I was thinking, like, what are people most interested in? We could do this 1810 two skilling It's PCGS graded. Costs a lot to get this sort of thing PCGS graded, but it's from 1810 Norwegian 2 Skilling Courant. It's PCGS rim damage VF detail, but really nice. Yeah, I can try that, Dr. Bismarck. I really like just the chunky overall feel of this Norwegian coin, and it's pretty fun. All right, make sure. Yes, I have all of that. Do not hesitate to keep on asking me. I'm going to try to do my best to remember. And so many more people joining. How's it going? Really fun to see everyone. I'll run some higher end stuff soon, but maybe I'll do an anonymous phallus. I'll do one of the ones that's on the higher end. This one's going to go to ROF. Let's see. This is a gorgeous selection in front of us. ROF going to take that one, but this is a really large planchet. 1028 to 1034. You can see XC for Jesus Christ. Really nice looking overstruck appearance on the reverse. Jesus Christ, Basili, King of Kings. People were looking for the anonymous phallus, and this is a great example. Oh, that's awesome. That's great, Ohio serial killer. I tried my very best. And this one currently only at $16. Great portrait of Jesus there on the front. And you know, the Byzantine rulers were putting portraits of Jesus on their coins so that they could spread that instead of focusing on their own rulers, sort of unique and native to their countries. So it's just overall a pretty interesting, pretty interesting issuance. And I have such a wide mix of things tonight where I'm curious. JP Connell says that's your first buy for me. Well done, congratulations. Let's try this rarer note. It's from 1862 or 1863. I'm actually going to give this, and then I have some really expensive coins to sell. I'm going to give this 20-second runoff. This is a 10-cent fractional currency note from the Civil War, United States. It's a rarer issue, and I'll be curious to see where it ends up. But I spent about, I think, at least like $45, so it's a pretty high-end note. I'm not sure what the new bid feature is. Oh, they added a new bid feature since my last show. Interesting. This is a 10-cent fractional, though. Portrait of George Washington. This was among the first currency issuances, and you could use it for postage, but it was really just a regular fractional currency. Oh, that's great. That's a really good feature. But this nice, it's a really cool piece of history currency, and let's see what it says in here. Exchangeable for United States notes. The idea was back then 10 cents was actually a really large amount of money, so they wanted to be able to issue. They didn't just want to do one $2 bill. I mean, that's like if we could only transact in $100 bills, $200 bills, $500 bills. So they had the fractional currency, which represented a fair amount of cash and spending capital, and so they used this instead. But they would make these in 5 different series. We have some of the later series here, but this was the 3rd issue, so I was one of the much earlier ones, and just a great piece of rarer history, in our hands here. Trade Boats currently in the lead, and Trade Boats says that's your first purchase from me. Welcome to my show. I put in a lot of effort to make fun sales. Let's do this. I haven't sold, I don't think, any from 1960. Oh, this is 65. Okay, so maybe, yeah, this is going to be 1965. I just got to edit this item, not 66. Let's run it. This 10 francs Hercules coin. Oh, what's going on? Good to see you, Dylan. Nice large 90% silver coin though in front of us. A little bit of toning towards the bottom, but it's got the great Hercules design. And thank you. I do try to be as professional as possible on here. And whether it's like a big silver coin like this or a tiny bronze coin or something entirely different, always really fun to put my best foot forward and try to come up with fun materials. That one's gonna go to Krumsky. Says that's your first buy for me. Awesome. Love that that's the case. And let's see, this one's from 1676. It's sort of Renaissance era French coinage. Then I want to do an Athenian owl tetragram, which starting bid will probably be like 210 for, and probably bid up from there. But here's a French King Louis XIV brass jeton, Sent over from Silver Picker. That's great, Zeffy. Silver Picker and I are good friends. We do lots of battles on the grab bag side, but in front of us, this is a really nice coin just because, and jeton because it says great fountain portrait, a lot of nature in the back. Message you later on. Okay. Sounds good. And that's interesting. I think that's a really good feature. HBP gonna steal that one for $17. Great win there. Very good pickup, I would think, on your end. Let's see, this is an Athenian owl, Attica tetradrachm. Gorgeous portrait of an owl there. It's from 353 to 294 BC. And I'm going to have to start this at 210 just as a floor. I'll see how high it gets. But this one I'm going to count down from 45 seconds just to see where it goes. Alright, I'll run it now as will be. Really cool coin. And great portrait of the owl on the reverse. AOE. You know, this was sort of the classic coin from this time period. And for those looking to buy one of the most iconic, I mean, this and probably the Ides of March, but that one is like, I don't know, $5,000-$10,000. I'm not that in tune with the super high-end ancients market. This is a really nice coin, sort of to add as a centerpiece of a world coin collection, and an ancient coin collection, which should include world. But I'm a big fan of world. If you can't tell already. And wow. For $225, nice win to PD Blah. Very attractively priced and sourced ancient, I would believe. And I thought it would go a little bit higher. It was basically break even on my end, but that's, you know, I'm not opposed to that. Like, it's important that people know, like, okay, I can pop in Treasure Town as a stream. I'll come away with some good stuff for a good price. Nice grab, little bidding action there with HB and some others. This one's pre-bid at 55. And we'll see where this one ends up. But let's see. Says it should be going. 1897.0. Morgan silver dollar with a bit of luster. And definitely a cool item. Just such a fun mix of stuff tonight. And it's going to go to Jay Coley. Congratulations. And maybe we'll go back to the 3rd century, mid-3rd century, except this one is a sparkling Gordian Antonianus. I have some other fractional currencies, Effie, if you're interested in that. This one, though, it's in a really nice shape and has Laetitia on the reverse. Early to mid 3rd century Gordian the 3rd. And Gordian has a lot of pretty nice issues. You know, but great detail in the hair. Really nice ancient coin here. And your email about Roman coin books. Hey, Cora, I'm not sure. Maybe you could resend it? I know I'm getting like hundreds of emails a day, just as a heads up. So if people don't, you know, I feel like I actually did, and I did not respond to it immediately. I think my attention got pulled away right at that moment. Which I apologize for and acknowledge that I shouldn't have done that. But I feel like I remember looking at it. AXA for $40. Gonna get one. Let's see what else I've got though. We could do, maybe in the meantime, this is sort of an interesting coin. Proof 70, silver quarter from 2018, struck at the San Francisco Mint. Apostle Islands coin. And, you know, perfect grade, gorgeous reverse proof strike. Really nice reverse as well, like full reflectiveness. Almost nothing wrong with the coin. And let me know in the comments, which do you guys like better in terms of reverse proofs versus regular proofs? So this one, you know, it's the reverse where all of this is frosty, and then they make the sort of the mirror image as opposed to sort of the whole thing like a glossy proof-like finish. Just a little bit of a different way of doing things. And yeah, something I've been curious about in the past. This one's gonna go to HBP. Nice win. And also let me know what you guys think, if I should be doing more graded stuff or how everybody here sees that. In the meantime, I'll start this out with a pretty nice Wasset Mint, 698, so very early 8th century. Wasset Mint, Islamic from the Umayyad Caliphate coin in front of us. So pretty clear portrait. You know, we have the sayings and inscriptions on this side. Nice reverse, and you know, really takes us back to just a totally different time in history. Jefferson reverse proof. Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you. You know, but nicer and Islamic coin. Now Roz says that that's your first purchase from me. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out today. And we also have some like group lots, which should be interesting. What do we think about this? I'm in for $55 is what I paid for this. This is a higher end world silver coin. Ceylon. Today is Sri Lanka, 5 rupees, and we'll let it rip and see where it ends up. Really nice crown-sized silver coin in great condition. 92.5% silver, and really pretty. I actually didn't know that this existed until I was able to come across one and purchase it. Definitely really cool. And it's one of my favorites. You know, it's just got a great lustrous design that reflects well. I mean, you can sort of see how it's like spinning in all the different design elements as well, which I think is just really cool. And then on this side you have the 2500, you have all of these animals and some nice, I like the sort of ring of ducks around it as well. Yeah, really nice luster, I agree. And yeah, I can, you know, so yes, this one, nice win for HBP. I thought that was a really cool coin. I've never sold one. It was the first one I'd actually transacted, and you know, very excited to offer that. And I'm just like, I'm still really experimenting. This is a really nice Standing Liberty quarter people were interested in. Oh, that's awesome, Colorado. That's a really fun collection. The German states, there's so much depth there. Let's run this really nice 1925 Standing Liberty quarter. Excited for this one. A lot of flashy luster, would be a great type coin, and I'm really excited to see where this thing ends up. I mean, it's got a great look to it and so much luster. I really like how you can see the detail sort of on either side of the coin, clear in the shield, and then you know, lots of detail all the way down into the leg. Great reverse detail. You know, you can see it feathering all the way through. Oh, that's awesome, Colorado. I'm familiar. That's a common design there. And Goldhound, only $44. Gonna scoop that one up. Good win. Nice, you know, recognition of what I think is a pretty good coin there. And yeah, let's see. What else are people sort of in the mood for? We could do, what is that? This is a monster coin, 1819 King George full guinea coin, just to put that on people's horizons. We could do, what's that? Huge Byzantine coin, ancient Greeks. All right, let's do. I have a bit of ancient Greek coins. I have some fractionals. This is a Troas coin. It's got Athena and an interesting, you know, this interesting stellate pattern on the back of it, and this one is from the 5th century BC. In the mood to hear me talk about coins? Yeah, I mean, these are really interesting because often they would be used like in trading back then. You know, silver was worth so much. There you can see sort of in the head sort of going up, and then a really nice pattern. But like, this is a really, really old coin, and they would often be traded like in many of the ports, really all over ancient Greece. But you know, I always think that it's like differentiated when you get to something that's, okay, this is at least like 2400. Yeah, I do have some chunky coins, and we'll get some large crown coins as well coming up. So I'll do maybe a Roman one. This one's gonna go to Zephy Like Whoa for only $18. I think that's a pretty good buy. So well done there. This one will be in like 3 lots, so get ready for it. Very large British. Zephy Like Whoa, that's awesome. It did say that was the first purchase for me, and very glad that you're here hanging out. This one is a Denarius, and we just have so many things today. This one is a Geta as Caesar, which is a little bit, it's better I think than just Geta, but really nice reverse portrait too of Felicitas. nice Denarius coin. This was like a day's wages back in this time. So this is right at the turn of the, going into the 3rd century, end of the 2nd century. This is what somebody could expect to be compensated with after a long day's work. That's fun. And so, I try to, a lot of the items in Silver Picker Stream, actually, I helped supply with them, like we have a deal on them there too. But here's probably the source. So Andrew F731, currently in the lead, and we'll see. I think that these are just so cool because there's so many different emperors, and then it's not just like Geta has all the same reverse portrait. You can build a collection all of different types of Denarius coins from the same ruler, even to sort of get a full catalog of what they have. And so I think that that's really special and definitely a fun reason. Like the ancient coin, there's so much depth. It's not like every it's not like there's every date. It's like, okay, you can do a bunch of different rulers from different countries. You can focus on one sort of country and city state. Again, lots and lots of different ways to get involved on the ancient side. And that probably makes sense, as will be. I think that that's the appeal, though, is a lot of people can show up to some of my live streams and see a bunch of different coins for pretty low prices. And sort of I'll wholesale blow them out. We can talk about coins while we do it and have fun with that. No, I mean, he just wanted to have some material. Like, we're really good friends, and I was like, sure, we made a deal. Andrew F. says that's your first purchase for me. Thank you very much for that purchase. Nice to have you. Again, I'm so thankful to all of the people new joining on my stream. That's always really fun. Here's a monster size coin, and the thing is, as well, I can only do so many sales, and I have a lot of inventory. So like here, I'm trying to blow out just tons and tons of different coins, like this very large Russian Catherine the Great imperial seal on this side. EM is the mint mark. 1778, right in the midst of the Revolutionary War in Russia, they're minting these monster size coins, which is just really fun to think about it and sort of be aware of. It's the sort of thing that it's just like, this is another great piece of history, and I find that so cool. This one, JP Connell is going to take. Let's get to people who are looking for chunky ancients. This one is a great example. You can see, I think that this is Artaxerxes the second, or Darius, but this is the Achaemenid Persian Greek Empire. These were larger silver coins. They're really chunky, but they're like a lot bigger than the Greek fractional. It's what's known as a siglos. In multiple, they're called sigloi. You can see lots of the different countermarks. And yeah, these are so cool. November Lima currently in the lead, and I paid $37 for that coin, so that's a good coin. I have one of them also coming up later in tonight's sale, but that won't be for a while, so definitely look out for it there. Let's see what else we've got here. 1914. Okay, let's as will be, I gain because it's I'm able to also free up the cash immediately, so I don't need to wait 3 or 4 months. It lets me buy a lot more material. This is a big coin. I'm gonna start this at a 30-second stream, so really nice horse portrait on the reverse, but for those of you not aware, this is a monster size full crown 1819 King George III, the same King George that I believe we were fighting against in the Revolutionary War. Huge coin. I mean, it's worn down, it's seen better days, but it's also a great piece of history, and again, a large world crown-sized silver coin. So I just think that that's super special. Currently only at 61 from New Columbia Coins, and that's not going to stand for too long. We've got the full Oni Soit qui mal y pense, and if this thing, wow, PD Blog going to take that for $64. Really nice buy, and just another sort of fun, larger coin. Is there any interest in some of the world group lots? That was one question that I had. Maybe I'll sell. People are interested in the VDB lot. I figured that I would just try something new, sell a bunch at once. We've got, one of them is a bit stamped, but 3 different 1909 VDB first year of issue. Some of them definitely on the sort of nice chocolatey brown color that people like on their wheat pennies, and I think it's a great mix here. Can't pass up a Hamilton. More Roman, sure. So, yeah, I mean, I figured if people want to test their luck, pick up a bunch of nicer 1909 VDB pennies. I tried out, and I never sold these in a lot before. People are looking for Roman. I'll get some Roman on deck. That's not a problem. But yeah, I mean, sort of try to do the atmosphere of wholesaling coins, having fun, but also, again, providing them at a big price. You know, sometimes like that one, take a loss, and it's nothing I worry about. Posthumous, Roman imperial. This is from the Gallic Empire. That's where they would have been minting this. Nice silver Antonianus from a ruler. I've never sold a coin of posthumous before. 260 to 269 AD was ruling at a time in the Roman Empire where there was sort of a lot of trouble going on. But you have that classic nice radiate crown. China, I don't think I have any. Yeah, I thought that was a good win on the last one. And then, you know, this one, nice bearded portrait, strong portrait there. But yeah, different ruler than I had seen, and it's a fun coin. And it's interesting how the coinage evolves through that century. You know, just so many different twists and turns, and something that's fun to track. So bottle opener is going to take that, and I think we'll get on deck another Roman, I believe. We could try this. Looks like a different Antonianus, or you know, maybe we can try some world, because I have not sold a ton of world, and I've been wanting to. What is that coin? Ooh, this is an interesting world medal, 1883. But there's lots of different options to pull from. Here's an 1838 medal, so I did get a variety on that side. Here's a Russian coin, 3 marks, 2 stivers. Yes, I'll do the Ceylon coin very soon. And this one is a 1913 2 mark from Prussia, King Wilhelm II. Really cool German imperial eagle there on the reverse, and a great portrait of the esteemed Kaiser. Some interesting toning as well, and you know, I just think that it's definitely, the cool factor is pretty high on this sort of a coin, and so I couldn't not sell it. Now Ra's gonna win that one. Somebody will do the 2 stivers. I'm gonna try maybe a, let's see, I know there's some higher end. This is a Rassilid coin, really nice in the sense of having a wide planchet. Rassilid Dynasty, Arabic coin from about 1322 to 1363. Just great piece of serious sized world and Islamic silver. The Swiss metal, there's lots of stuff, but yes, I'll get to that. I'll probably do the Ceylon 2 stivers. This one likely could bid up a good bit. I mean, it's seen better days just because these were minted in quantity. They were meant to circulate sort of all through what we know as the Arabic Peninsula. Yeah, boy, yeah, exactly. We're going totally around the world, and that's a great price. Probably tough to buy that anywhere else for $12. So nice win, and we'll try the 2 stivers with the elephant. Really cool, larger coin. It's got an awesome trunk. On this side, King George III, the same man as before, but Ceylon, I believe, would become Sri Lanka later on, and you know, they had their own, you know, obviously coinage issues, such as the one in front of us, and just a great piece of history. Was able to find one other of these, but sold that one, so no longer going to own any of these. Super cool. I love the big animal coins. They just have some like unique effect about them. I'll pray for it. That's a really cool profile picture. Do you own that coin? Great 3-cent piece there. And I just noticed that and wanted to ask about it. Let's see what else we've got. We'll do the Swiss metal. Yeah, this is a Zurich 1883 Swiss metal. Drops for creators. That's a cool idea. I haven't thought about that. I have not incorporated too many of the lottery type, but this is a nice white metal from 1883. Really cool historic piece of history. 1883 though, much older, and it's got a great portrait on the front of it. Just super an interesting one, and I really like the depth that we actually see within the field of Zurich. The Swiss has a great metal tradition, just in terms of coming up with some really, really pretty designs and sort of capturing the essence of the world in a beautiful way. I really like that about them. ROF2 for nearly $13. Gonna hang on to that. Maybe we'll try this nice Roman Provincial Antioch Pisidium mint. It's a copper, but it's in really solid condition with the military standards. No coin tubes for junk silver, I'm sorry. And a Celtic coin, yes, I'll run that soon. Those are pretty nice. But here we see Philip the First. This one is a pretty attractive, chunky silver or copper coin, and just really like its overall appearance. Silver topaz, nice pickup, great buy there. I think that's a good win as well. I've only got this one. It's a nice 80 to 50 BC Celtic coin. It's a quinarius is the denomination. It's got a super old horse there, but this is from the Aedui tribe in Gaul. So early 1st century BC. Would be at least another 50 years before Jesus Christ was born. And if this goes for $19, that would be incredible. Wow. Dang. Congratulations. Phenomenal buy. And you did very well. So, well done. Gotta give credit where credit is due. This one is a nice Buffalo nickel, 1936. Better condition here. And anything from the Philippines, I think I have one in one of the group lots. I don't know why it says you're not. Oh man, PD Blah, I'm sorry. There's definitely, well, you know, that's what is lucky about the auctions that I try to run, is that, you know, one, if you're paying attention, can walk away with some great finds. So that was definitely the case right there. And we'll see what happens on this 1936. Any Type 1 Buffaloes, not tonight, unfortunately. RN Daniels. Gonna win that. Very nice. Let's see. This one is a. Well, we'll do that a little bit later. What else are people looking for? Here's a pretty nice Barber 1914 S, $50. And World War II. Yes, I'll run. I just have to find where I put the group lot. I could have sworn that I had it just a moment ago. But nice 1914 S, great for a type piece. That sort of thing. That's phenomenal, Zeffy. Happy birthday in advance. That'll be a really cool addition to the collection. I think a phenomenal price, Zeffy. Really came away great on that one. Not that other stuff that people purchase isn't great prices, but like that's probably the best price that I've ever sold one of those by a mile. So, RN Daniels, nice win on a Barber. And then we'll try this 1892 Columbus commemorative. Nice 90% silver, $50 from the United States in the late 1800s. A little bit of luster there, still left over on it. So also a pretty cool piece of history, and yeah, good mix tonight. So nice portrait again, and I think that there's just a lot of pretty fun material in front of us that I don't get to, sell all the time, like this one. In terms of having some bluish toning, often those, they come nice, but they don't come quite as toned as that one. This one, I've never sold one of these before. It's a 1431 Murad II Ottoman Empire Axi. It's a bit larger, and you can see, there was a bit of monetary debasement as things went along in the Ottoman Empire. So this was pre-fall of the $50. Yeah, I could do a Kennedy $50. But a great design, so much intricacy on this side of it. And again, silver coin from 1431. Just a really cool bit of history, I think, in front of us, and I find it pretty awesome. Just a lot of detail and a bit of an off-center strike, but that was sort of common for the type here. on these Murad too, and really through the whole Ottoman Empire. It's going to go to November. And somebody was looking for a Kennedy $50. This one is an accented hair in the proof set, so it's actually a rarer find. And I'm going to have to do a starting bid on it because it's a pretty expensive one, but you can tell that accented hair, there's weakness in that eye. And let's see, this one, I'll probably start this auction at 55. But accented hair, Kennedy $50, 90% silver, also includes proof 1964 Roosevelt dime, proof 1964 Washington quarter, and then obviously the proof nickel and penny. But nice accented hair, you can see all the detail there. And then again, I think the big die marker is actually the weakness in the eye. So, you know, able to confirm both of those diagnostics, and it's a pretty cool item. But sort of that serif is entirely gone. TSM 16, congrats on the win. You know, again, a bit of a higher end item, but pretty fun and cool in that sense. Maybe is it time for one of these group lots? This one is a ton of different coins. Oops, and it always takes me a little bit of a while, but there's 8 silver coins and 2 very old copper coins in them, and I think it'll be fun. There's a full listing in the description, but I'll go through it pretty slowly, and lot of, let's see which one this one is. Group lot, oh no. Okay, here it is. 8 rare silver and 2 highly old copper coins. I'm going to be very risky and start this at 9. But we've got 1939 2 shillings. Half shilling from Austria. This is actually a bit of a better coin. We've got a 1781 Netherlands East Indies Do It. Got a 1825 quarter skilling. We've got a Netherlands 1954 1 golden. Got a El Salvador 1953 25 centavos. We've got a Spain 1904. We've got a Canadian 5 cents 1902. We've got an Ecuadorian 1915 half decimo, and we've got a Venezuelan quarter bolivar from 1894. So a really nice mix. 1894 bolivar, 1915 Ecuador decimo, Canadian 5 cents, Spanish 50 centavos. It's going to go to Shamrock Wallace. Really nice assortment there. Congratulations. And trying that out as a way of doing the selling. They're sort of interesting group lots, and it's not something I've experimented with a ton in the past. Let's do a really nice jeton to follow that up while we're on the topic, and then I'll get into a string of more sort of alternating ancient and world. And then if people have specific requests from the side, never hesitate to let me know. Yeah, the Do-Its are really cool. This one though, I mean, look at the detail there. It shows King Louis XV, who's just newly born, working with a tutor. It even says Tutor Reg, the King Regina, King of the Tutor. Sample slabs, wish I had them, but really cool portrait there. And this says, let's see, Aunculus Exitae Hector. I don't exactly know what that means, but I mean, this thing is, it's not like really luster, but it's sort of dripping, sort of reflectivity and sharp detail. Philippus Doriel. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the name of the tutor, but I'm not exactly sure what it fully means. And it's really a great piece of history. I'm going to go to HB Pete. I don't have, again, too much in the way of samples. I could try, well, let's see what I've got here. Okay, this is a nice Denarius coin. I think that might, is this Hadrian, I want to say? No, or maybe it's Trajan. Great Trajan Denarius. This one's earlier, so it's from 98 to 117 AD. And it's got this great portrait on the reverse. Sort of man holding, can't tell if that's a sprig of flowers or something, or wings, or exactly what it is. But it's got a lot of clear hair. And yeah, definitely nice detail. Good to see you, TJ. A boater in the lead, but great mix, and you know, in terms of different Denarius that you can collect. Because again, if you get one Trajan, there's a bunch of different. I think this is the only Trajan that I have for tonight's sale. Leonard's going to win it, but there's so many different reverse types, and that just makes the depth of the series so much more. Let's try. I've got one of these larger lots. It's going to be 10 different 4th century Roman imperial bronzes, and there's lots of different reverse portraits on this one. I'm going to start this with 22nd auction as well, but these are from the 4th century, so sort of 300 to 350 most likely. Could be a little bit older than that actually, but a really nice group. You know, some have great detail. You can tell where the mint is going to come from. I really like that one in the lower corner, but talk about a great way to get a bunch of Roman history all at once, and that's a nice win for Ashland. Paid, I think, $52.50 for that lot. So I think that's definitely a good one. And let's see what else. Maybe we'll shift over to something again on the world side. Or is there interest in U.S.? Because I still have some, or not just some, a good bit of U.S. material, like this 1832 cap bust $50. Maybe I'll run this large Byzantine issue in the meantime, 27-11. This was a Justinian. This was contemporary, different production, which is sort of interesting. Unclear where it would have been minted because it is a contemporary imitation, but that just means that it was made at the time, so those are collectible. It's almost better in some sense than just a regular Justinian, because they would have had some of the details obfuscated and a little bit off. Third Reich, yes. U.S. fractional notes, yeah, I'll run a U.S. fractional, I forgot about that. This one's going to go to trade boats though. Really cool item. And maybe we can run, let's see, I've got this 10 cents right here. It's got William Meredith on it, and definitely a nice issue. Really good look to it. Lots of detail here. It's a pretty sharp note. I mean, it's worn, but it has, you know, it's solid on the edges. You know, a little bit of flaking, but this would have been made from 1874 to 1876. Thank you. PJ3 currently leading, and you know, these are nice notes. The fractional is always very collectible and not super easy to source. I just happened to come into a little bit, so I tried to, you know, again, that's what I'm about. I'm trying to put together really fun, memorable auctions where you know you're going to show up, and if it's not something that you think even is just cool, forget about it if you want to put it in your collection. The first time it will be the second. PD Blonde, nice. Yeah, I try to do the high end. The one risk for me with the high end stuff is that, you know, it's easy for it to just like fall apart a little bit, and then, not that I'm stuck, but like, you know, there's been items so far tonight where I lost like $20+. There's been like one or two where I probably made that on some sharp buying from my end. But here's the only Third Reich coin that I have in a solo lot, the only silver one for tonight, from 1938 with Paul von Hindenburg. On the front has the German imperial on the reverse, and I have some you know, interesting coins from Germany, but don't have too many of the Third Reich versions, so they also have interesting edge lettering in addition to the portrait, but sort of a coin for its history, and you know, it's just an interesting piece of history, I think, and a lot of, you know, history that's represented behind it. But Paul von Hindenburg, the acting president, passes away in 1934, and then goes and after his death is commemorated on all of the coins, and this was around the time, you know, I think Adolf had been ruling after he passed away. This is an 1859 $50, so much older, pre-Civil War, large U.S. silver $50. Thank you, TJ. I really do try my best, and it's fun to like interact with the chat too. But this is again pre-Civil War. You can see good bit of detail. You know, it's worn, but it's definitely a great type piece for somebody who's looking to add what's a much older $50 to their collection. and I'll be curious to see where it ends up tonight, because these are not super common, and especially like 1859 New Orleans branch mint. That one opened in 1838. 1838, Andrew Jackson decides to open different mints. Yeah, no, it's a rare coin. Different mints. He opens 2 for fractional gold at Charlotte and Dahlonega, so that's in North Carolina and northern Georgia, and then New Orleans, of course, big trading port and a lot of activity down there. They want to have ready access for coins. Of course, where would they go next? Thank you, Troy Highfield. Carson City, they would be in San Francisco, Denver. Carson City would close down sort of in the 1890s, and so, you know, I appreciate that. I could do the music, but I try not, you know, not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's like I always like to talk about the coins, and it's fun because my friends probably only want to hear me talk about coins to a certain extent, and then they say, you know, that's enough of you talking coins for the day, whereas here I get to talk about coins with people who like hearing me talk about coins. Thick Ottoman, yeah, we've got some, let me see, I know I've got a few Ottoman. This is a large, this is a Medini. Thank you, New York too. These are interesting again, for those of you who are not remembering. 1453, the Ottomans take over Constantinople from the Greeks, and then they're minting a ton of currency. There's sort of different rulers in succession. So you have Bayezid. We have a Bayezid the first Axi from 1390 or so. This is a Suleiman the Magnificent in 1520, and this is larger than that base unit of the Axi, or Axe. It's AK, like C with a cedi, like in French. If you say François, it's spelled Ncois, but the sois is the cedi version of the C. So it's like when you see like a little apostrophe coming from below the C. I can try a Morgan dollar. I think I only have one. That's funny, TJ. I try again. That makes me really happy, because the other thing is, like, as I've started to get much more into these, and this is a nice 1879. I need to get some more Morgans. I only have, this is I think the last Morgan dollar, honestly, for tonight. I want to start selling more than that, but we'll see where this one ends up. 1879 Morgan silver dollar. You know, this again, 1878. A little bit of history and coin information for all of you. The Morgans were really started. We had the trade dollar, which was, I want to say, really 1873 to 1878 or so. But those were mostly authorized for trade abroad. This one's going to go to HBP, and they weren't really, you know, well used in the States, and so there would be like some sort of harmful business practices where people who were like employing other people would go out and pay them in this money that you couldn't recoup the face value, and then they would profit off of the people that they were employing. I'm going to focus this one. This is a 1705, so it's actually an earlier jeton than a lot of the ones, and it's silver, so I do want to sort of turn attention to it. But we've got a great scene, Ludovicus Magnus Rex on this side, and 1705 Tresor Royale. It's got a gorgeous portrait of clouds in the sky with the sun in the background, and a great nature portrait as well. Next is Stunt Nubla Cursum, and you know, King Louis the 14th was the longest reigning king. Again, I don't think even Queen Elizabeth, she was 70 years. King Louis the 14th was 72 years in power. So, I mean, just to put that in perspective, that is so long, and it just makes it, you know, it's just sort of fascinating to even think of the extent that King Louis the 14th was reigning. They would make these, you know, some of the base metal jeton, you could tell that they were used a lot more. I mean, this one likely circulated a bit, or it's a weak strike, but I think it had a little bit of sort of action, but they would be used more in the commemorative purposes, and so, you know, the artistic value on them is at quite a bit higher. This next one also is a before Christ coin minted in Pergamum. It's from the 2nd century, so 200 to 101 BC, and it's got this really cool owl portrait on the back of it, like super good detail for being over 2100 years old, and I just really like how that looks. So again, Athena on that side, really nice portrait, and this is an area that I'm learning so much more about, but there was less of a clearly defined standard, and a lot of the silver that I sell, it's like Roman imperial, which is sort of the time. There's like some of the coins that say SC, I forget, I think that means that it's like the Senate is ruling. but the imperial is like, okay, that's more of an emperor type power structure. But this is really cool. You know, I have some Miesian fractional silver, and this is just a great portrait of the owl is what I really like about this. So, you know, it's pretty sweet. And, you know, great portrait on this side again. 8017 refers to, it's like about 17 millimeters across. Any good looking widow's mites? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I got a really nice selection of Pruta. Now these are the Roman procurators. Remember that this was an area that was ruled by the Romans for a very long time. This was not like, okay, actually, I think I only have 2 of these. So, yeah, bid accordingly. This one is from Herod Agrippa. We've got the very nice canopy on this side, and then we've got on this side wheat ears, but this was like the ancient Judean unit of currency, and this would have been minted exactly between 37 and 44 AD. And so, you know, this is a larger coin than the widow. The widow's mite, I mean, this is the same type of coin, like the widow's mites are prutas, but this are to a much larger standard, much bigger planchet, and I think a bit cooler piece of history. And so, sort of to have this very thin range in which this was produced from 37 to 44. I mean, this is worn, but they were made to circulate, and they're base metal, so the way that they were struck, it's not like they're going to carry the luster the same way that some of the other ones do. But yes, Zephy, I will try to do a fractional note, but I'll be curious to see where this one ends up. And you know, it's just fun to be on here and learn about this. Thomas Sett says that's your first purchase from me. Thank you very much. And again, I always emphasize that, you know, welcome to the show. I'll hope to see all of you and sort of assist in building your collection, because it's like, it's almost like I buy for my collection and then I can't keep everything, so I have fun doing these whatnot sales through it. This is a really cool though, 25 cents. This is Robert Walker, so getting up a little bit higher in terms of the denominations. It's a worn note, like you can tell, but it's cool to think that this is sort of what we were transacting with, and it made a lot more sense. Now there's interesting things again, like what I was saying before. It's likely that this would have actually been not trading at 25 cents when it was being exchanged. It probably didn't have too steep of a discount, but versus something like a federally issued 25 cent coin, like a seated Liberty quarter, people always preferred to have the silver in hand as opposed to these notes, which they said that they could be exchanged, but sometimes it was a longer and tougher process. You remember, now we get to send money around, you know, pay with credit cards. Back then it was like, well, you have to hope that you can find a bank who's going to have it, and there's like issues with the bank runs, and there's issues with just like getting access to hard currency. So it's a consideration that I always really like to just bring up and make sure people are aware of, because I think, you know, again, think of all the, like, it's crazy that it's even a thing to take currency for granted, but it is something that we do. I mean, it's there's probably some issues with currency as we know it now, but it's just a totally different form of that. This is a really nice, yeah, here's a Greek. It's got a Poseidon trident on the reverse. It's from 275 to 215 BC. King Hieron, or Hero II, in Syracuse. So, it's definitely a cool coin, and you can see his portrait right here, gazing across. I really like the ancient Greek though, and they've been fun to learn about. Again, great trident, and really fun. Just like super old, over 2,200 years old. Like when you put that in perspective, to think that you can, whatever somebody owns this for, I mean, it's, in the grand scheme of things, a relatively, you know, not, we'll see what it ends up coming in at, whether it's 35 bucks or this one's gonna go for 26 bucks to JP Connell. I mean, to be able to hold something that people were transacting as currency 2,200 years ago, I feel like that's kind of special. And so, yeah, I mean, this one is a Pisidia bronze. It's a little bit different. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna maybe mix it up here. And what should I sell? Do I have any US? Is there interesting? I could do a different Denarius too if people are interested. This is like a really cool tone coin. We could have, okay, here's a group lot that I wanted to sell. and I have never done anything like this, but this is like a mini collection, and it's an interesting mix of coins. Here's a 1903 Indian head cent, older nickel, some proof nickels. We've got Lincoln cents, 1916D, but then there's some better coins. 1915 Buffalo nickel, really nice. 1892 Colombian half dollar. 1905 Indian head with full liberty, a little bit of PVC. We got a 1951 Franklin. Got an ICG Roosevelt dime, 2 of them. These are 90% silver, and a Mid-State 65 Roosevelt dime. So let's see. I'm calling it the U.S. mixed coin lot. There's also this treasury seal. But I think the big things to focus on here, because I don't want people to forget, are the 2 Franklins, or the 2 half dollars, and then the ICG, and the 2 proof silver dimes, 1 regular silver dime. Let's start this auction, and my guess is that it bids up solidly. But yeah, again, nice 1892 Colombian silver, 90% silver, half dollar, and then 3 graded silver dimes. Roosevelt, 60, 62 are the proofs, 49D. We've also got an interesting mix of Buffalo nickels, Indian head pennies, not intended for circulation over here. But then again, going back, don't want to forget about this AU 1892, 1951. I think it was 2016 was the Kennedy, and some graded dimes here. So yeah, nice little mixed lot here, and definitely pretty fun. Youngster 505. Interesting mix though, and first time I've sold a bunch of like graded at the same time. Youngster 505 is gonna get it. I've never sold coins in that format before, but I'll have those shipped out. Gonna really do my best to get this stuff out pretty soon, because I know it's Christmas. The shipping sometimes is slow by like the government at this time of the year, by the U.S. Postal Service. But I promise I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to have them out tomorrow. That could be fun to do by now. I like to do everything auctions though, and maybe I'll change that in the future. This is a really nice jeton. It's got great detail, clearly from 1599, so it's much older than some of them. And then check this out on this side. It's almost like a heavenly procession or sort of a party going on, but just a gorgeous overall piece of history. And again, you see these people sort of playing instruments. And yeah, that's the thing. TJ, it's always great to have you here. You don't need to be buying to hang out in my streams. I just like talking coins and talking about what people are collecting, things people are interested in the coin scope. Just a really top jeton and a pretty good price. Colorado, if I was doing buy it now, definitely would charge more. But let's try this British India for the world silver enthusiasts, and then I'll try maybe a Swedish coin. It's got a true view, and so somebody paid like probably 25-30 bucks to grade this. 1944 L, I believe, is the Lahore mint. It's got a little bit of interesting toning, and I think that this is 50% silver. From the British Empire, they would lose control of India in 1947. So that's super cool, Colorado. Yeah, and this one is pretty. I mean, it's got a very cool surface effect, but thick rims. But yeah, they would lose control of India in 1947. So they would retreat, and then they had like when it says et ind imp on all of the different all the different British coinage, and this one's going to go to Colorado as well. It means that et in and the Emperor of India. So they were very sort of possessive, and obviously had interest in controlling that. And so that's what was going on there. This one is going to be a Trebonianus Gallus Antoninianus. Before I start it, it's sort of got like an interesting cup shape, but yeah, just as a heads up, it's probably been, worn down and well used over the 1800 years or so it's been in existence. This is a different issuer for the Antonianus, and so it's a bit worn, but it's been minted in Rome. It's got pax or peace with an olive branch on the reverse, and on this side, that's funny, TJ. No, you're always welcome. Nice radiate crown indicating that it is a double Denarius or Antonianus, but again, they would have a precipitous fall in terms of the actual silver content that was reflected, and soon would basically, I don't want to say stop existing. And this one's to Rayad YZ. Congratulations. Hope you enjoy this piece of super old history. I don't get to sell a ton of the Trebonius Gallus coins. And then we'll also try this one. This one's got a really cool head of Athena here, and I think it's two heads. Yeah, Janiform female heads and a helmeted head of Athena. There you can see they're sort of to either direction. This is from about 500 to 450 BC in Mysia at the Lampsacos Mint. Just incredible. Hyper old coin. Yes, I believe so, Colorado. Silver Topaz, great to have you in the stream. Actually, I saw you, and I've been so thankful for your support on the YouTube side. It's like, this is such a fun way to connect with viewers and basically just talk coins with people. Again, and you can see the really nice portrait here, so old. This one's about 2,500 years old. Some of the earliest silver out there. I think the official start is like 600 BC, maybe a little before 600. So this is really in the early sort of parts of coinage, and just incredible to think how old this thing is, and that there's still even like a recognizable portrait on it. Super special. Rayad gonna win that one. That's cool as well. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I'm really not trying to come across as like, I'm just proud. Yeah, that's how I should put it. I'm just proud that we get to have everything from like, these are like slightly better date Mercury dimes. Which group is this? Why does it only say, okay, these are all, okay. Well, they're like in solid shape. They're all from 1917. I get to sell, these are all World War I US Mercury dimes with decent states of preservation. Pretty solid intact rims and everything. And that's funny, TJ. And I appreciate that big bit. I think there's lots of other good people selling on Whatnot too. But I'm proud that I'm partnering with Whatnot. And the jetons, I mean, they could be minted to within a few years, but these are like originally sourced jetons, Colorado, if that makes sense. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, even, here's a fun fact. 1964 quarters, most of them were made in 1965 and 1966. They said that they would stop putting them 90% silver in 1964. They had all this leftover silver, so they backdated. They just used dies that said 1964, continued striking them into 1965 and even 66. So, that's the whole thing with like dates on coins. It's often like, it's a little bit different from like what it obviously is, but then it's not like so different. I mean, even there's thoughts that a lot of the proofs in the United States, people would just go in and backdate and strike them to far earlier. Andrew F., I don't think so, but everything's going to be shipping if according to plan, but I don't say this lightly because I have a ton of exams the next few days. I'm going to have everything shipped very quickly. I don't think that I can overnight it though. That would be fun, Ezel, but I'm a little bit hesitant. I like to sell people the coin in front of them and not do tons of the games because I worry like it's possible that I would, that somebody could lose big if they do a lot of like the coin roll hunting games. And so, yeah, I haven't done too much of like the buy a roll and if I find something good happens to you. It just has not been my style as much. Do other people want that? I mean, I could consider it, but I've always been of the opinion like, let me just try to sell people what's in front of them, and they sort of get to know. Maybe the chill stream, like I could sell coins along with it. Maybe, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I would rather hang out, hunt coin rolls, but just talk to people and not have them be buying the coin rolls because it's very rare that something actually good comes in. I'd rather talk about these. These are sort of this is the like Iran, an Arabic nation before Islam entered the picture. Probably what 100, 150 years before, like 100. And yeah, I try to avoid too much of the hype. And like again, I get excited about cool coins, and so I try to make sure everything that I put in my auctions like passes the cool test. Like I think this is pretty cool. It's silver from 1500 years ago. It's pretty old. And maybe while we're on that topic, I'll get a pretty fun coin ready to go. I only have one of them tonight, and it's a type that I've sold before, but there's also different sort of things that are more nuanced about it. And Rhea currently in the lead on this one, but just gorgeous reverse, I think. And thank you so much, Ms. Bell. It can always improve, and like that's something. So after this show, I'm gonna do another show, and it's a pretty big show as well on Tuesday. But then I'm gonna take like probably a week and a half minimum, probably more like 2 weeks off. I'm gonna really think through my auctions and refine them, and try to get a bunch of new material in, lots of new inventory, and continue to do that. This one though, I wanted to hint at a special coin. It's both Emperor Tiberius and the Roman provincial ruler Nero. So I believe that this one is Nero. Here's the Emperor Tiberius. These are really special coins. The cheapest I've had one go in the past is 60. So, but I think they average like 75 here. So I'll be curious to see where this one ends up. But again, this is cool because there's two heads of real individuals on it. Some of the other ones that I sell are, it's like the emperor or like the empress or the deity Hera or Serapis. But in this case, we actually have both Nero and Emperor Tiberius, which is super cool. So, endure forever. Good to see you. Haven't heard from you in a while, so, or not that I haven't heard from you, but it's just like, it's good to see you. And Italian coins, I haven't seen him here tonight. This is cool because it's got like these priestly implements on it. It's an old Denarius coin, and it's from mid 2nd century, which is cool. 138 to 161 AD. I didn't see who actually purchased that last one, but yeah, awesome to have you here. And I really like this one. I mean, it's got a bit of a chip in it, but it also has, just a really cool like patina overall effect. It's got a bit of a cut through it, but it's sort of that mid 100s, which I don't sell quite as many coins from. Often the ones that I sell are in the 200s, and they're just like a little more common to come by in my experience of sourcing coins. Oh, he's on Italy time zone. Wow, I did not realize that. That's pretty. I mean, it's fun that there's lots of global buyers. I've shipped packages from Whatnot to Australia, so there's just like so many different places. Do I sell grab bags? I will in the future. Right now, it's just been like not a slog, but there's just been like so many different things going on. Italian coins, 2 a.m. and you're in the chat. That's dedication. That's awesome. That's so cool. I bet you get to see some really interesting material over there. That's sick. Great to have the global community on Whatnot too. I think it'd be fun to introduce this in Europe, but my guess is that'll be a while in the future. November Lima, back in action. Hadn't seen him for a little bit. And then we've got this one, which is more of a bronze base metal Antonianus, but also really nice detail on this one. We've got Jupiter handing globe to the Emperor, and this was minted by Diocletian. Any cap bust? Yes, I have one cap. Actually, I think I might have two. Let me see if I type it in. No, I just have one cap bust. Unless I have two. I thought that I had a bust dime. No, I think I only have one cap bust $50. But this one, nice Diocletian Antonianus, and you can see how their standard changes. I mean, it doesn't take away from how like the history of the coin, but these ones are copper, where the other one's silver. It's or probably more like a bronze base metal, but you can still see the radiate crown and everything. So lots of similar themes carrying over there. And gotta get to bed. Yeah, gotcha. No, that's fun. Big Bit, welcome, congratulations on your purchase. I think it'll be a great addition, and that's the other thing. I think a lot of people have started collecting ancients as a result, and I find that really fun. The slab wheat, sure. This one I'm gonna have to start high though. The last it's pretty rare. It's an unattributed Kaneka RPM 002, so I have no problem if this does not sell, but I am gonna have to start at a high bid. There's only one sold recently. It was actually in PCGS Mint State 66 red, and it sold for 60 on eBay. If nobody takes it, that's okay. But this is I think I have a 3-cent fraction, yes, but this is a Kaneka Repunched Mint Mark 002. I bought this from a rare variety seller, and again, not gonna fault people if they don't want it. But Otis 50 jumps in, and I think, you know, it's a cool Kaneka attributed variety, and you know, the only other one that was available on the market sold for 60, you know, before any fees or anything like that on eBay. So I'll get that one out as well. I was gonna run this, you know, grease seal. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, I don't know, it's interesting. It's like with the varieties, it's tough because like when stuff comes up, it doesn't like come back around. So often you have to sort of be ready to go sort of on the, you know, as soon as something hits the market. So it can be a lot tougher over time. Like it needs a lot of sustained effort to put together collections. Maybe we'll do this 1,000 dinar coin. And then I'll do a Mexican coin right after. This is from 1877 to 1881. Nasser al-Din Qajar 1,000 dinar coin. And this is not going to be starting bid 55, but we'll see if it gets up there. Really nice Iranian lion portrait on the reverse. Super cool. And I really like that crown up top as well. There's a lot to like on the Iranian coins, and they're just like tough to source them. To start on that fraction, which coin are we talking about? I think all the notes I've just been doing at 9. I should probably be starting them higher, but let me see. Geek Gal, Nerd Guy, gonna win that one. Nice job. And I think that people who are sort of circling the waters, hoping for, you know, you might be able to pick something up for really cheap. This is a nice George Washington fractional currency. It's always tricky for me, like, to tell somebody what I spent, because often I don't want to guilt people if it goes for lower. I'm gonna actually sell this at 9, and yeah, I'll sell the cap bust. Maybe after I'll do like a world grab bag auction. This is a 3-cent fractional issue. Really nice paper currency. You know, I paid over 3 times what it's selling for right now, and I'll be curious. Yeah, I believe. You know, this is not super common note. So 3rd issue, 1864 to 1869. Could be Civil War, could be sort of right after that period. And so, you know, these are not super common. Again, George Washington earlier notes. No, don't. Again, that's the thing. Don't bid up just for me. It's if you want the item. You know, it's probably pretty attractively sourced. After fees, I break even on the. Actually, maybe lose $1, but like, that's the thing. If I was losing tons every auction, I wouldn't be able to do it. And I'm gonna do this one after a graded world coin, and then I'm gonna try one of these big, and then we'll actually get a giveaway. I saw a cool way of doing it in a different stream where they were like waiting until they hit 100. I'm gonna say if we're at, yeah, if we can stay at 90, I'll do a giveaway and wait for, well, I don't know. I also like to just reward the people who are in the stream. But here's a big, so I'm not gonna do that, but in 3 lots, I'm gonna do a free giveaway. This is group lot 2. So as always, I make these a 45-second because there's a lot to get through. We've got a nice 1945 2 shillings coin. 1754 Netherlands East Indies, today Indonesia do it. Hold 1827 quarter skilling. We've got a Japanese 100 yen coin from 1964, silver, 64% silver. Nice German silver coin, 5 West German marks. 1896 10 ore from I think Denmark. We've got this great crowned King George coin, 6 pence, 1910 sterling silver Australia. We've got a Spanish coin here, 1910, Alfonso the 13th. Got a Canadian coin, oh my goodness, 1928, 10 cents. We've got Netherlands and a nice 1942 20 centavos World War II era from Mexico. 1917 World War I, PJ3. That's going to go your way. And I can get some Cuban going as well. Just remind me, make sure I remember, because there's a few lots that I promised. I said that I would do a Mexican coin, and then I'm also going to do this cap bust after that. I thought that that was a pretty good deal. And then we've got Cuban. But this is a great, so 1898 Mexican. Unfortunately, it's got a little bit of damage on this side. You can see where there's like what looks like a tiny few claws in there. But on, I mean, outside of that, gorgeous uncirculated coin, 1898, Mexico City. That's the MO Mint, which has been making coins since 1535. This one's from 1898. Gorgeous coin. Shame that there's that damage on this side. But I think it's, you know, it's just a cool piece of history, and really like how the copper looks. Again, I don't want to distract anybody and, you know, conceal that that's there. It's unfortunate, but I think that there's sort of just a nice glossy beauty to this side as well. So sort of not double-edged sword, but there's like some differences about it. And it's pretty cool. Otis 50 is going to win that one, but that'll be a good one to add to the collection. Let's try this 1832 cap bust. I'm going to be very risky and just run this one at $9. But really cool coin. Lots of nice detail all over it, and these cap bust coins I just think are really fun. And you know, gripping a group of arrows, lots of detail in the feathers too. So you know, I sort of like it, and the cap bust designs are just sort of fun. Yeah, it does have good detail, you know, all through the hair as they sort of unfurl, and you know, sometimes gotta take a risk as a seller, and I certainly did that there. And so Otis 50, the cap bust, the half bust means, so that refers to the bust design on the front of the coin. And then the half dot, you know, it's like a bust is like a person, or like a bust if it's just like the head. I think once you include sort of the beginnings of the torso, that one's gonna go to HB Pete, by the way. Once you include the beginnings of the torso, then it becomes a bust coin. This is a really cool Athenian owl tetradrachm. This one is minted in Attica, Athens as well. It's in a little bit weaker condition. I'm kind of nervous, but I'll try it at 160, and we'll see. I should have done more than 15 seconds. This one is from Attica, Athens, though. You can see the owl design on this side, and this owl got ran over by a bus. Yeah, I mean, it maybe saw better days, but it's also like, it's cool that you can still see the design was on Drake's album. This one's gonna go to New Columbia Coins. Congratulations. And didn't get bid up too much, but you know, I was nervous that something like that could just, you know, I'm always nervous on the cap bust. It's like, it's a very recognizable quantity, that sort of thing, whereas some of the other, and we'll do a quick giveaway, by the way. 1952 $50, then we'll get a Cuban coin going, and we've got a nice other mix as well. It says there's a 5-minute rule, 2:15 a.m. Yes, I will do that. I appreciate your understanding too. I said I would do Cuba, and then I'm going to do that Pisa coin. So let me just find where I'll show it. The World Coin Lot 931-3. Here's the Pisa Italian coin. It's a Piccolo under Federico II. But I'm going to draw the winner in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's see who's going to win it. And I've got more giveaways today, but I've also, you know, it's the Christmas sale, Christmas special. So I've got plenty more coming. And that'll be fun. So that one's going to go to Thomas Set 34. Congratulations on your win. And yeah, exactly. I figured that I try not to do too many super fast or super long giveaways. Sometimes I'll wait a little bit if I'm like explaining something. But in the meantime, this is our one Cuban coin for the night from 1915. The United States struck coins for Cuba for a long time. I want to say that they sort of started minting in like 1914, I want to say. Remind me if I'm wrong. But, 20 centavos, and you can't buy these on eBay, so they're always fun when I get them in. ND blah. Going to take that one, and let's see which this one is. This one has a reference guide. It's from 1370 to 1390. Italian coins wanted it. So since the 2:15, I can't always guarantee that I'll put something in the front of the list, but when somebody's on my stream at 2:15 a.m. from the other side of the world, that seems like a good time to make an exception. So, thank you for joining us. It's great dedication and commitment. And this one is a late 14th century Italian coin. Be anonymous. Very cool. Excited to get that. I think I have an idea who that is, and really fun. Really fun piece of history, I think. Cool to own if you have Italian ancestry, and first time buyer. That's awesome. So thank you. Welcome to the Whatnot auctions. Be anonymous. Recognize you from the YouTube comments and some other places. PJ though, we got this cool off-center Lincoln Cent. That's fun. It's cool to see that there are lots of new first-time buyers, people enjoying the live stream auction format. And I do try to read the comments on the YouTube, and I see Be Anonymous as a good supporter over there as well, in general too. So we've got nice US coin. Now I've got a real nice mix of other stuff left. Maybe we do this nice Greek coin. I could also do a Siglos. I was nervous at the one that really sold for a way lower than what I had purchased it for. This one's 1st century BC. Nice from Pisidia. It's got kind of an interesting, I can't tell when that countermark was put into the coin, but we see a horse on this side, and then a nice portrait of Zeus on the other side. My YouTube is Treasure Town, and we just hit 114,000 subscribers, so I'm very thankful for all of your support over there. It's very fun to put out the content on that side of things too. So definitely, connecting with people over there, something that means a lot to me, and I've enjoyed very much. Rayaz gonna win that one. Nice ancient coin. Maybe we'll do another ancient coin. This one, it's unclear what the exact mint on this one is, but it's from Troas. This is about a 450 to 400 BC or so. The ID is not 100% sure, so I just don't want to mislead, but it's likely a Troas Gargara coin. We see a horse on this side, so he just sold the horse larger copper or bronze coin. Here we've got what could be a tetrabole. Again, a bit unsure on the ID, but that's why I have the question mark. And it should be in that range and pretty consistent, similar to the SNG reference, 315. So, okay, that's awesome, TJ. Yeah, welcome to the YouTube channel as well. I really try. Silver Topaz is going to win that one, but to just foster a fun community sort of around coins across the internet, and that means a lot to me. So what else? We've got this great Tech Voron coin. This one is of the Cilician Armenia. This one's from 1365 to 1373, so a tight window under King Constantin IV. We see him there on horseback, but nice sort of, this is more towards the area of like Judea and the Crusader states, I believe. But there was a lot of usurping, there were a lot of different sort of actors at play, and just another interesting time in history here. Again, hammered silver from that early time. That one's a solid coin, and just fun to own. Was able to pick up a few from like different rulers as well, and so I've gotten to learn a bit more about that society that I had no idea. Tito gonna win. Had no idea that society existed ahead of purchasing it. Maybe we'll try a first year sort of approximately VF. This is a nicer coin, certainly nicer than the average. You can see a lot of the detail in Liberty. 1892 Barber dime, crisp on this side, and again, that first year of issue, I believe is slightly better. So, just a fun, little bit nicer US coin there. And again, I try to mix it up. We go ancient Greek, then we do a nice mix of more modern US, and really, really fun. But another larger sized auction, and again, lots of different items for sale. Lots of ancients left. Yeah, let's do one. I've got like a ton of ancients left, and a bunch of stuff that's like earlier, may not quite be ancient. And let me just do a brief adjustment to my setup here, but I'll run. What type of ancients would you like? This one looks like it likely is like a Probus coin. This looks a bit later in that 3rd century, and that's exactly what it is. It's a Bill and Antonianus from 276 to 282, and what they would do is they would silver the outside of their Antonianus coins because they were trying to conceal the fact that they had started putting less actual silver inside of the coins. So it didn't really work particularly well because people are smarter than that. But what they did have was the power of the rule of law on their side. So they would just force people to accept, coins, even if, people were often pretty acutely aware that they were getting bad deals. And so here we see, 2 individuals shaking hands, and a bit of corrosion has creeped in on the coin, but that's just sort of, again, they weren't putting, it doesn't sort of take away from its historical value. It's like good to see that that's what was going on because it reflects accurately the state of hyperinflation. But now when hyperinflation occurs, it's in numbers and just zeros added on to banknotes as opposed to something like coins that are supposed to be silver and don't really look like it. This is a rare. I've never sold one of these before. 1390 AD Ottoman Empire Axi. You very clearly see the year on the Hijri calendar there, 92. But this one's from 1390, the original Bayezid the First, the Thunderbolt. So from that perspective, it's really cool. And I like, this was, I think, some of the first axe coins. Then as time went on, they would go down a bit in terms of the, silver content or like the strike quality. But on these, they're really quite nice. And just great piece of that Ottoman Empire history that now in today's world, probably a lot of people would recognize Turkey. But people looking for the ancients, again, what type of ancients would you like? I've got Greek, I've got all sorts of different types. But fun to be able to also sell some of these, just because I think that they look like so nice, and it's a great piece of older history. It's almost like has a bit of luster, of a lustrous look to it, and I don't have any more of those tonight. I have a few more of them, so they should appear over time, but previously had been selling other types. Let's do a nice anonymous phallus, Class B, sort of the classic 1028 to 1034. Nice detail. You can see the eyes here on this portrait, and this one looks less overstruck. Jesus Christ in the top, King of Kings, ISXS, is that abbreviation, and then Basileia, you see Basileus on many of the earlier Greek style coins from even before Christ. You have the cross imagery right here, and then a very clear portrait with the nice, what is that? Is that not a nimbus? But it's some sort of a clear reverse portrait, and what goes in the back of Jesus' head. I'm literally just forgetting the specific term for it. I have a pirate booty, yes, I do have a Maravetti, 8 Maravetti coin. And I'll get that Spanish one after that, but I'll try the Spanish copper after this. There could be, people like these Christ phalluses, so I could see this one going up a little bit more. Rayad YZ currently in the lead on it, but yeah, definitely a cool coin. And again, that's what I try to do. Try to come up with really fun coins that are not sort of easily accessible to the collecting public. And JP Connell currently in the lead on this at 64 bucks. And Rayad YZ gonna come back for it, but I like how, again, you can see the eyes clearly, you can see a lot of the detail sort of in the neck, and Rayad YZ, gonna come away with that win. People have talked about this 8 Maravedis Spanish cob coin. This is from the 1600s. It's sort of reminiscent of a pirate coin. I believe that that's like somebody the 8th or something. I forget exactly which ruler it's going to be. But it's, got just like a really old Renaissance feel to it in what I think is a really fun way. So I'm always excited to sell that sort of material. And Otis 50 currently in the lead on it, but this sort of unique, fun square shape, just like a cool, again, piece of coin history. Geek Gal, Nerd Guy, gonna come in at 31. Oh, CMG PK, great to see you. Text me on the stuff that I was hoping to buy from you. I know that you mentioned you had some cool material. What's this made out of? It's gonna be base metal, so this is not silver, but it's some sort of concoction of base metal coin. Otis 50 gonna win that one. Yes. 7 p.m. Eastern time is going to be my last before 2023 on Whatnot. So it's tonight and then I'm going to hibernate a bit, spend some time with family and friends, and get ready for a monster year next year. Really going to be ramping up my operations. I haven't hired anybody full time. I'd like to. In the meantime, though, this is a nice 1939 to 211 AD. So again, a bit earlier. We see this really interesting portrait of what looks like a soldier standing ready to go, with a downward pointed spear and a nice, nice shield. But this is an issue of Septimius Severus, and just like really cool. HB Pete gonna take that one. Really nice beard portrait on that, which is fun. And somebody had mentioned the 1885 Spanish peseta coin. Slightly larger. I figured it was definitely worth selling on its own as opposed to the group lot. I've been having fun with the group lots, but like that's what you see that portrait on a lot of like the 8 reals, which I think I'm actually gonna have an 8 real. Yeah, I see it. Ready to go for Tuesday night's auction. Don't have any of those massive coins, but I recently purchased some more 8 reals, so those are gonna appear more prominently in some of the probably mid to late January. Joe McBride is in New York. That's cool, yeah, boy. Yeah, in terms of work, feel free to send me recommendations of anybody in the New York City or New Jersey area if they're interested in working full-time doing coins. I think it could be really fun, something that would be special and a fun career too. This one is a Licinius Aephalus, so that means base metal, 311 to 324 AD. It's got a really nice portrait. This man standing bravely with this, it's Jupiter holding victory. No other Gallic coins. We had this steal of the century. There was literally a Gallic quinarius from the Aedui tribe that sold for $19. I didn't want to sound like salty in the moment. I'm not like upset, but it was just a shockingly low price. I mean, I did lose money on it, but like it was a great win for the winner. So that's pretty cool. Is he skinny dipping? No, I don't think so. As well, often like the quinarius, I mean, if you look up what like a nice looking quinarius coin from the Aedui tribe is, those 19 is way low. In the past, I've sold them upwards of $50. But yeah, Alan Marmor, like, a solid quinarius can go for $100 with the right buyers. Trey Boats currently in the lead, and I just really like that portrait. It looks great. Nice earlier Phallus coin. Maybe I'll try something from the United States. Here's a nice 1901 Barber 1901S. Okay, well, is that a better date? I feel like I don't want to claim that it is, but 1901S Barber half dollar. I'll do a half dime. In the meantime, can somebody tell me if 1901S Barber half is better? I just want to make sure it's not like a super key date. I don't think it's a super key date, but if it is, please let me know. 1854 with arrows half dime, 1854-0. It's got a bit of a hard ding in the back, not a super key. Is it a better date though? Because I just want to make sure I'm not like tripping myself. You can see a bit of a dent in the reverse, but it's still, I mean, it's a fun half dollar. Oh yeah, okay, it's the Barber quarter that's so expensive. And yeah, I just want to I'm going to do a quick check for my own end. But I'm sure that that's what was going through my mind there. And Otis 50 currently in the lead on this one. Otis 50 gonna take that, and definitely a nice coin. Okay, no, so I'm gonna confirm so that people are not misled. This is not a super key date coin. It's the quarter that's way better. You know, it's definitely not the worst date though for this Barber issue, but yeah, nice 1901S. You know, right here there's a bit of wear on the outside portrait, but also, you know, not a really easy to come by date. So yeah, slightly better, I would agree. Less than a million. Okay, less than a million minted. I forgot that the mintage was that low on this. But yeah, fun coin for sure. Don't think that anybody would doubt that. And you know, just one of a lot of different types of fun materials that I try to source and make these auctions special with. I was like, again, on that sort of stuff, I would probably have to charge a little bit, like very high if I was actually selling the hyper key. And in the meantime, we got this Antonianus. We've got a figure with a spear and a standard on it. You know, nicer portrait here. Let me see the cost PP. Normally 3 cent silver. I don't have any of those tonight. I think 1909 is the inverted mint mark. I have that one. That's in my personal collection. No, I have not sold that one. But this one's a pretty nice condition. Probably choice XF as it was described. Antonianus from Gordian. You know, I have a few more, like, just in general, I find it's often easier to get the Gordian 3, but, you know, there's a lot of different cool Antoniani out there, and I think these are often nice just because they're in such a standout good condition that it sort of splits them apart and separates them from the rest of the pack. Yeah, no, definitely, totally gorgeous. Trade boats, gonna take that one. And let's see, next up I've got this ancient coin. It's a Maorian from 337 to 361 AD, so a bit later than many of the other coins that I deal with. And it's got this really clear portrait of somebody conquering another person in battle. So older coin, but super chunky, kind of a thicker ancient Roman imperial. But again, that 4th century was just fraught with a lot of difficulty for basically everybody involved. And MS Bell, that's funny, TJ. But you know, really nice detail in the front portrait, and then just this unfolding battle scene on the other side. It's a cool, does that even say Marian? I'm not totally sure. It might, but Constantius II. There were lots of coins minted in Constantius's name, but this one, again, a bit older, and Tetrabold, the ancient coin buyer, with the ancient coin profile, currently in the lead. Rayad YZ, also on it, and again with that spear, Rayad YZ, Feltemp Reparatio. Okay, thank you for the information there. I'll run this big 50% silver crown size Peruvian coin, which I always find these are cool, like the South American silver. There's a little bit of luster, but not too much. I mean, this circulated, but big silver coin, fun for a collection. Civil War tokens. Do I have any Civil War? I feel like I have at least one. No, I don't. I don't think I do. Otis 50. I could actually get one, but I don't want to disrupt the flow of the auction too much. So I think if you stick around till the end, I don't want to, for other people who have other coins that they're like super interested in bidding on soon, I don't want to distract from them there. 55 Axuf, gonna win this one. Goodbye. And then World Coin Lot 28-9. This is a 1556 to 1605 Mughal Empire half rupee or Mahmudi, super large coin. It's like a chunky piece of silver, and it's got a lot of intricate detail on this side. Yeah, this is a nice one, definitely. November coin. What does that mean? Yeah, I agree, Halo Mender. I just like any of the crown size silver. It's just sort of challenging to, you know, I have one from the Philippines for tonight. I have some nice larger silver material. It can just be sort of you know, it ties up a lot of capital, to be totally honest. That's like one thing that I'm working through, is like the proper inventory constraints and that sort of thing. Yeah, no, these oh yeah, this one, yeah, November does like some similar material, but I found actually just a lot of support, because November, there's a lot of people who are interested in this type of material, and I find it so fascinating. Again, because I've gotten a few more coins from like the like ancient Greeks. I've gotten a lot from Islamic, from, you know, anywhere from the 6th, 7th century to the, you know, 14th, 15th century. There's just a lot of interest, and, you know, different buyers who are interested in a wide mix and adding to very wide and diverse collections. This one's going to go to November Lima. Congratulations. Maybe we'll get this one going though next, which is again 2nd century. That's why I say about 200 to 101. It's probably a more specific range within there, but it's a Phrygian coin. It's from the Abatis Mint, and we see what looks like, I think that that's a winged sort of creature, or eagle, or no, it's a thunderbolt. Okay, I forgot about that. So presumably this is Zeus on the front of the coin, and there you can see sort of like a thunderbolt that's sort of been like wrapped a bit, made at the Abatis Mint. And a really cool portrait again. Zeus, thunderbolt, you know, that's right in that Greek and Greek mythology era, and so fascinating. You know, really, really like how that is. Trade boats back in the lead, and a really fun, again, ancient Phrygian Greek coin. Alan Marmor. So lots of, you know, I just have so much fun again with a lot of the material at hand, and let me know what looks interesting to you in the sidebar. And this one's going to go to Trade Boats, and I'll follow it up with this world coin. I think that there's some nice Swedish material. Could do ancient. Oh, it says something went wrong. What just happened? What on earth? Okay. Something happened on my computer, but we're good. I'll get that florin right ready for you. It's a nice coin. This is a Tabaristan, so I sold a Sasanian earlier. This is a later version of that, as it gets brought into the Abbasid Caliphate. So it's not exactly the same as the other, but there's a lot of similarities in terms of the different coins at hand. And it's got a nice portrait of sort of an anonymous ruler as well. So, yeah, just a cool Byzantine, yes. TJ, I do, but I also feel like by selling these, I get to continue to go out and like buy more collections and see new coins, and so it's an interesting thing for me. Yes, this is Sasanian Empire, Alan. This is like, that's early Iranians. But they existed, again, before Islam even existed. I believe that they were often Zoroastrian, but don't quote me on that. I don't want to say that to sell the coin, because it's cooler that they're Zoroastrian or anything. But I believe that that's sort of like the area. I did watch the World Cup. I actually had it was interesting, on Sunday morning I had a Christian ethics final for my class, so I was busy during the World Cup, which is a bit unfortunate. But I was able, I mean, I think I really missed out. I was able to catch a lot of some of the other World Cup games, though, through, you know, I saw Morocco. I actually had a lot of people over, and my team that helps me, like, part-time for the coins, we'd watch the World Cup and prepare these auctions together. 1915, sterling silver, King George V, United Kingdom, World War II, or World War I, florin coin in front of us. Pretty cool if you ask me. And so, you know, another neat item, coin item, but Tito V currently in the lead. Again, just, there's so much that I'm able to encounter. I mean, this thing again it's World War I silver from Britain. Then we get to do cool US stuff, then we get to do Greek, then we get to do early Arab. There's like, it's almost endless, the fun coins that I get to encounter. And so, like, yeah, it's a bit bittersweet to part with things, but I also know that around the corner, this one's gonna go to Waterfall Coin. Great to hear from you. How have you been? How's everything? How was your live show, by the way? I forget if I was able to pop in briefly. I don't think I was, because I think I was on the road with my water polo. But I was excited to see. I remember you had that big bag of Morgan dollars that you did a whatnot show with. How did that end up going? Yeah, Aaron Daniels. It was a bit disappointing. It was just the, it was just like the way the registrar schedules it at college. It made it so that I couldn't. I was mandated to take it during that time. They had a bit of something shift around, but because of the whatnot sale, this is a chunky Sweden quarter ore. That's fun. I've got just this sale and one more sale, and then I'm off for the rest of 2022. Gonna come back at it with some fun in 2023. This is a chunkier, older, under Queen Christina, I believe. That looks like 1638 to me. Swedish coin. And waterfall, I've gotten bitten by the ancients bug. So been having fun with that, and like medieval coins, but I also like a lot of the historic world stuff that's more modern, or historic US. But it's just been like, I feel like I've been expanding my coin horizons a lot recently, and that's always a fun process. Whoa, this is a gorgeous coin. This is from 196 to 146 BC in Euboea. It's Greek from the Hestea mint, and that's the nymph Hestea, who seems to be seated on some sort of a sailing vessel on this side, but really nice appearance on this one. And you again, her head on this side, it's a tetrabole, so 3 ovals. And the comps on these are always really strong in terms of like what they sell for. Very historic coin, again, from about over 2,200 years ago. The professors are annoyed by the registrar too. I believe so. Are you a professor, RM Daniels? No, this is a silver coin. I should have discussed that. It's just like been tarnished over time. And yes, I will get that. No Cuban. What did you ask for? I'll get the Siglos coin right now. And then, oh yeah, the 1960 5 francs I can do. But this one is another very chunky Persian Achaemenid Empire. We got the Incuse punch on this side. It's very countermarked on this one. 375 to 336 BC Greek silver coin. I mean, look at the. I'm gonna even take it out because I think it's just worth showing how chunky this thing is. It's almost like a silver nugget, except we know that it was right from 375 to 336 in the original Persian Empire, so 800 years before those Sasanian drams, sort of in that similar area with a nice incuse punch. These things are being transacted. Wow, that is awesome. What's your favorite between the two subjects, Daniels, between medicinal chemistry and pharmacology? It's great to have good instructors, because that's so important for, obviously, the world and medicine. P.D. Blah, nice win on that coin. I'm interested. My mom is in school to become a professor at a 4-year. She's in the final stage of her dissertation, but it's a very drawn out process and tough. Some people have talked about this. This is, oh, maybe I didn't even put this in. Okay. Oh no. Ooh. Okay, is this 1889? I think I must have. Okay, I confused this with something else, so this is going to be dropping out of the auction. That's something that's a different place. 5 francs, 1960. People had asked for. She was a nursing professor, so it's sort of in the similar field, and so she's doing nursing science, and she's hoping to teach at a 4-year. She was at a community college teaching as a professor for a while, and she's still teaching some other courses in an online format. I'm going to school to study economics, so a lot of like econometrics and applied economics is what I've been focusing on, but I'm also minoring in entrepreneurship. I've been taking a class where we have to develop our own venture, and I've sort of done that with coins. So it's been really fun to try to innovate in that space and like think through. There's just like so many different cool niches to like form a business in, and so I've had a lot of fun doing that, because in coins it's like it's a hobby, but if I make it a business, then I get to see so many more interesting coins, in turn learning a lot more history. This one's an 1822 coronet head large set. Nice, worn but pretty old, 200 years old at this point. Waterfall, I wish that would be fun. I'd enjoy. I've always thought like it could be cool I think I'm more likely to either do coins or some other career. I'll always be very involved in coins, but then it'd be fun to also be sort of in a professorship role at some point. And Andrew, what are you majoring in? It's a fun, I mean, the thing is, and the thing that I always try to focus on, like, as I, do coins, is it's like, I just try to take people along the journey of, like, me having fun collecting coins, how I sort of like to collect them. So, like, these jetons. I buy a fun collection of jetons, I keep 20% for my own, and then I try to sell out of them so I can make back what I put into it, and I get to keep the rest. Chemical engineers, wow. Chemical engineering. I have a few friends in, I think at my school it's chemical and biological CBE engineering. It's one of the toughest majors on campus. And that makes sense. That's a good way to do it. If not for coin dealing, I wouldn't be doing this, or maybe doing economics. But this one, around 1715, you can tell because this is a baby head of King Louis the 15th. I'll just dwell on it for a little longer. They would sort of stylize them as a king, but you can tell it's like baby features. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I mean, I put a lot of effort into trying to be honest and, doing my best in terms of how I source everything and put together the auctions. And it makes it more fun sort of to do everything above board as well. This one is a nice Denarius coin. Let's see, -4-1, 207 AD. That's an interesting, and on this side we see Securitas, it looks like. But a Caracalla Denarius. Listed under Antonius Pius. Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely more fun than eBay. Biological engineer. I assume, I understand a little bit of the difference between chemical and biological. Why do you think they would group them together in a major? No mysterious boating accidents, exactly. It's, the coin industry is interesting like that. Like here's a little fun fact just about my business. The reason I have such detailed inventory numbers is because when I buy something, I immediately, even for this stuff, well, generally for this stuff, that goes into my collection, sometimes, like, I have stuff that isn't like this because it's before I started doing it, but I need to be super careful so that I can tell and pay the exact amount of taxes and, like, get in everything that I need to. This one's it's much shinier than the other one I sold. 1322 to 1363, Rassilid Dynasty from the Arabian Peninsula, larger silver Durham from the mid 14th century. And this is biomedical, popular by niche. That makes sense. Just really nice, large planchet silver coin. I mean, these are thin Durhams, but they've got a really appealing history to them at the same time, which I think is super fun. And, very nice appearance, I think. Catalog everything you have and how much you paid. Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. That's cool, bottle openers. And like the other thing that I realized is that, do coins always go up? No, I mean, I've overspent on coins, but there's also been a lot of coins that I've spent, and bought them really low. It's just like a long experiment. This one, it's got some corrosion on it. This didn't come green, but at the same time, it's like so uniquely across the coin. You have this sort of classic seated king portrait. We've got the head of Demeter on this side and a seated portrait of Zeus on this side of this Cilician coin from Greece at the Adana Mint. So that classic seated Zeus portrait, again, not going to make up, everybody sees that it's a bit green, but it's sort of an interesting effect for this ancient Greek coin. And, not going to be able to pretend that that's not there or something. That's cool, bottle openers. Yeah, it's like, I feel like this is fun because everything I put up for sale, I mean, it's gonna sell. Like, so a lot of stuff slips through the cracks, and eBay for a retail market is often, everybody wants to get top dollar. My model, in terms of thinking through how my business works, I'll try to buy a lot from like bulk dealers who don't have the time to price everything out on eBay and are nervous that they put it on eBay for like a $0 or $1 starting price. I'll go in, learn about it, ID it, and then connect it with people who are interested in that type of material. Thank you, the gravy. 1916. This is a Barber dime lot, or one Barber, one Mercury. So I just thought that it would be fun to make this a lot of coins. Sort of, I can't tell what's going on. I mean, it's some interesting toning, but nice 1916 dime. And your boy, well done. I mean, again, that's the risk. Somebody was saying, and I kind of agree with them, I shouldn't say when stuff goes for lower, but like there's a wide mix of good deals that people can get. This is a full-size peso. United States, it's been cleaned, or like scrubbed a bit, but I figure people can see that. But it's a pretty cool 80% silver coin. This was from the United States, I think in 1898, post-Spanish-American War. We take the Philippines as a commonwealth owned by the United States, and we started minting coins. So people were asking if we have Filipino. Yes, we have a full peso coin, and so exactly HBP. I mean, the thing is, like, there's some coins where I buy them all cheap, so then my eBay comps on stuff often, like the eBay, it's like, okay, this is selling for $100. I buy it for a lot lower than that, and I sell it for $40. Like, I can't tell somebody. I don't. The point is, nice win for Tito. I never tell people that I paid less. I don't tell it on definitely not every one, but then I also, reserve being truthful. Like, I'm always truthful when I tell somebody that they picked it up, and it snuck by me and got a low price or something. Here's like a cool. I didn't fully identify this. I bought this as a Free Imperial City of Nuremberg coin, but I wasn't totally confident in the identification. But it's sort of the late 15th, early 16th century German hammered silver. I can't tell if it looks similar to Nuremberg. It could be Brandenburg, Franconia. We see like an early imperial eagle here, but these half shilling coins, I mean, just super historic, and I just I thought that it would be an interesting group of coins to deal with, and so a large group of lower grade Roman coins. Peachy, I ran one earlier, and that was, again, this is not me complaining. I lost like $25 on it. I have one more group. They're lower grade. There are 4 of them. Yeah, exactly. So like, the silver jeton, I took a big risk. I bought a bunch of them, and then I bought them at a pretty attractive price. I want to say I paid, it was something like $40 a coin. There were some that were really low, but like that stuff on eBay, people are trying to get like $200 for them. So I thought that was just like a phenomenal buy. But then I'm not going to tell somebody, if it sells for 55, I can't tell people that, I paid, I lost money on it, because I didn't. So that, I don't know if that makes sense, HBP. And the reason I paid up and in bulk, there were a few there that weren't quite there, but yes, here PG444 is a group of lower grade Roman coins. And like some of those, I'm thinking about, well, I was gonna grade them, but then it's like, it's gonna take so long. Like, I'm gonna send some stuff in for grading coming up, and it's gonna be like 5 or 6 months before I get them back. So, I could send in a few jetons. I think I only have like 12 left at this point from the silver ones. Tommy 1030 says that's your first buy from me. Congratulations. It's all like, the other thing is that I sort of have an advantage, and I'm blessed. Like, I've been doing a lot of coin dealing, so that I get access to a lot of deals that, like, there's sort of a behind the scenes, very hidden wholesale coin trading activity, and I tap into a lot of those networks where those people are often focused on like selling $1,000 and $2,000 coins. So I try to go and buy all of their like $20 to $50 stuff, and then I can sell it on Whatnot because they're looking for immediately to have liquidity. They can silver ARPAD, but I don't want to promise either way, and I don't know. Sometimes sort of PCGS standards or ideas change on like not that it's like on whims, but I've definitely seen details for chop marks as a grade before, so I don't want to mislead you there. This is going to be but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I try to be open about my strategy. This one is this says Class I Anonymous Phallus, and that kind of makes sense. I've never sold one of these before. We've got the Latin cross on the back, but this is a bit later in the 11th century, sort of 1078 to 1081 AD. And an interesting portrait of Christ, though, on the front, and so just super interesting. But yeah, the Latin cross there, the Christ portrait on the other side, and just makes for interesting coinage, I think. And cool to have Jesus so prominently featured on the coin too. Not something that you would see necessarily every time, or like in too much of the coinage today. But actually some pretty decent detail left over on that coin, sort of to pull it all together. Let's see, we got an 1876 seated Liberty quarter. So solid detail over here. I thought that was a cool buy on the last one. You're right there, Angie. And 1876 quarter. Lots of, still have a wide variety of selections. Some really old stuff. Lots of ancient coins. In this case, it's more of a, more modern, or not even modern, but like, it feels like these days on my streams, a coin from 1876 is probably towards the modern side of the coins, which is like crazy for me to think that that's sort of the state. November Lima is gonna take that one. Maybe more that median is like this 1846 pence, but it could be that this is even a more modern one. But this is really early in Victoria's reign. I believe she came in 1837, and so I think she would rule all the way to 1901, at which point Edward the VII took over. So a lot of history on this piece as well, and it's just like, do any of you watch any of like the British royalty shows? I know that there's like some interesting, I forget what it was. What was that show called? Downton Abbey or something? I feel like my sisters enjoyed watching that. Here we have a early 5th century, so 500 to 450 BC. Ink-use punch with the helmeted head of Athena. This is actually a decent sized Mysian coin, but again, there's the, that's the Janiform female heads. Janiform, again, I believe Janus is like a god that's looking both ways, so you can see sort of the detail of one head looking that way, the other head looking this way. And it's a pretty decent size. It's a diobol, so that means di is 2, hemi is half, so when I sell the hemi-drams, that's like a half dram. White Queen, White Princess, Spanish Princess series. Interesting. And the crown, oh yeah, I remember, yeah, definitely vaguely, I don't know if I've watched the crown extensively, but I know that it exists for sure. Not that means I'm necessarily the most up to date on it, but I'm with you. 1849 braided hair large cent. Again, worn coin, but it's got some cool detail on it. A lot of melting of the rims on the reverse. It's sort of just like where it wears into the. Yes, it is Colorado. The Great Baking Show. It's a silver coin. This one is not, but the Mughal Empire. I have one of those left. I could try it soon, but let's see what else I have. I feel like there's some other cool stuff. Oh, I have a good idea for what I'll do next. Otis and Ashland Hawes. Thomas Sett, great to see you. Yeah, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. I'll miss being live regularly here. I tried to sort of put out a bunch of my super fun material for these last 2 sales. Actually, Thomas, stick around. Maybe we'll do a super fast, we'll strike quickly here. Well, let's do, okay, I'm going to do the Mughal Empire, and then I'm going to do a giveaway. But since there was interest in it, here it is, Emperor Akbar the Great. I don't know exactly the silver standard, but it is silver. This one has some cool luster attached to it, too. Like, seems to be in a pretty decent condition. And from about 1556 to 1605. Nice half rupee. Mahmudi is the official design, but yeah, so yeah, it's got a pretty thick look to it. And it's pretty interesting. Really fun piece of history, again, over 400 years old. And I always like, selling coins where I feel like this one's going to go to November, Lima. There's a lot of history attached to them. And so now we get to do giveaway. So celebrate everybody hanging out. We still have more giveaways, and I might even amp up the giveaways soon. So here's a 1954 Franklin half dollar. It's been a bit cleaned, unfortunately, but it's still 90% silver. So King Edward, then King Henry VII and VIII. Remind me, yeah, but I think King Edward VII came in right after Queen Victoria. But again, so on the entries, we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to draw the winner, and we'll see. Oh, wait me. Gotcha. I didn't exactly know who they were going to be covering. And maybe I'm going to also do a world coin group lot. I have one more of those left. Tetra Bowl going to win this one. So congratulations. Thanks for hanging out. Here we've got this. This is a Tripoli County. This is a pretty nice, these are not super easy to come by. And again, like, this is the sort of thing, if you look at the eBay sold comps, they're pretty high. I'm not going to say what they are. But this is around, I couldn't fully identify it. I wasn't sure if it was like a Bohemian or there's like different dots. Like, that looks like 3 dots to me, which is Bohemian the third, which you can then identify further. But this is in Tripoli County, which is part of France, I believe, and it's a Billen low percentage silver denier coin. Yeah, this is definitely a nice historic coin, and I try to mix it up, try to get cool stuff, and I definitely think that this is one that qualifies. Really nice and historic. Crusader, decent size, and you can see the dots there. But yeah, again, I didn't want to specifically give it a ruler in case I was wrong. I try to be pretty careful with the IDs. I source my coins that are ID'd on the Greek side, for example, from a very trusted source, PD Block. Gonna win that one. And so if I'm IDing or having somebody ID it, I just say, if you don't know it fully, please don't say that you do. Just put a question mark by it, or like in that case, I didn't even fully identify it, and then when we're on the stream live, then I can tell people. But let's get this group lot going. My mistake in the past has been not showing all the coins. So I think I'm going to do a full minute for this one. A full minute rundown. This is 8 rare silver, 2 highly old coppers. Full minute auction. Thank you, the gravy. I really tried to go all out with this one, but we got a nice starting 1940 50% silver shilling, 1754 early VOC, Netherlands East India Company, do it. We got an 1826 quarter skilling from Sweden. Got a nice tone 1926 20 centavos from Mexico. This Swiss coin 1961 1 franc. We've got a 1902 TO, I believe that's Swedish probably, or we've got this, I have one more Denarius, I'll sell it next, but 1925 sterling 3 pence from Australia. This one might be a Canadian coin, 1921 10 cents. We've got a Dutch coin, 64% silver from 1914. And this fiery toned Ecuadorian 1915 1/2 decimo. Really like that toning there. So it's a nice mix. You got the super toned decimo, Canadian, Australian. It's sold to the gravy. I just want to highlight these coins: Denmark, Switzerland, Mexico, Sweden, East India Company in Indonesia, and then UK. What a fun lot. And let me follow it up. Let's see what else I've got in stock. Maybe we'll try, oh, somebody wanted Denarius. I think I have one more Denarius, so maybe it's time to do the sole remaining Denarius coin. Okay, no, that's Antonianus. Where's the Denarius? I just saw it, and I want to find it for you so that we can make sure that you have a fair shot at it. And I'll have a few more in my sale on Tuesday night, but let me go through here and see. There's the Denarius. Maybe first I'll sell this Antonianus, and then I'll try the Denarius. So let's see. This one is, I can't tell if this is a Maximianus. This one is 33-1706. Yes, Maximian. Billin. Oh no, I sold it. I did a 1 minute auction. I apologize for the bit of the delay, but I'll show you some of the future upcoming lots in the meantime. We've got this Denarius coming. We have this really cool toned satin finish buffalo nickel. Again, this is the coin that you're bidding on, and we see them exchanging. We've got a cool graded Washington quarter. We've got this obsolete currency. It's a literal cut banknote, and it's cut in 4, so it's 25 cents. But this one in front of us is a Maximian. He's sort of that turn of the century, and the interesting thing about him, or the XXI, is that's thought to be, it's not totally for sure known, but it's thought to be that XX stands for 20 parts copper to 1 part silver, which are in these hyperinflationary coins. And we'll see if HB Pete is going to get sniped here. And he is. Lad 1 going to come in. But this much older, ancient Roman, mostly bronze, but enough silver in there where a lot of people are going to refer to this sort of a thing as a Billin coin. So then we've got Andrew F. Got your first Denarius coin tonight? That is awesome. And PD Blah, I appreciate that. I just think it's like, it's fun to be at the center of building new collections and that sort of thing. So Trey Boats, and Trey Boats gonna take that one. Great, again, era reminiscent of the hyperinflationary period that gripped Rome and may have like even undone it. This one is gonna be 193 to 211. Nice Denarius Septimius Severus Denarius coin, and it's a bit worn, but it's got a really nice portrait. It's our last one of tonight, and again, it has his beard, which is always featured prominently on the coins. Nice headband, curly hair, and again, so much depth within the coin collecting hobby. Really enjoy sort of showing that off, and being a part of that. Trey Boats in the lead, but fun Roman silver as we lead up to Christmas. Maybe a lot of these can make for some nice gifts. I have one more of these for tonight. This is the Umayyad Empire, Umayyad Caliphate, which was right at the end of the 600s into the 700s. Very clear silver Durham. Africa reverses go for a lot, that makes sense. But this is, a early coin with a lot of history, likely at the Wasit Mint. That's the mint mark right there. This is a common inscription from the Islamic. I can't tell if that's like some sort of a doubling or, that's just like machine doubling, die doubling. Not exactly sure, but very, very old. Just in the early stages as Islam came to the forefront in sort of that area, of the world. And I believe that I have a Khusro the Second Dram tonight, but maybe I don't. Anyways, really cool coin. And this one, Alan Mamor, who seems to know a lot. Now there's, this is a pretty fine coin, and we'll see how far this one bids up tonight. Alan says that's your first purchase from me, so congratulations. I look forward to shipping that one out to you pretty soon. Again, I'm going to really put in an effort to try to get these sent out tomorrow. My Tuesday sale will be tough, just because it's such a quick turnaround. Here's a Stone Mountain. There is a cleaning to this, but it's still a pretty historic, classic commemorative silver $50 memorial to the valor of the soldier of the South, eagle and mountain portrait, which again, it's Stone Mountain. I believe that that's Stonewall Jackson and Robert E. Lee, but don't quote me on that. But 1925 commemorative classic half dollar. Yeah, so again, I try to have something for everybody, and this one's going to go to Turn and Burn. Congratulations. I've got a shield nickel. This one has the raise. It's in worn condition, but I always try to, get different type coins. The raise, they ended up removing them because what they found is that they were striking all these coins, and nickel is a really hard metal. So when they were striking them, eventually they had to take off the raise just so that they could preserve the dies, which are used to hit the coins, and have the dies available for longer. So this was the first year that they switched over from the previous half dime, which was silver, to a non-silver base metal. It was, again, sort of represents the desilvering, decoupling of our currency with silver. At this point, they realized we can do it with 5 cents. They had non-silver 1 cent coins for a long time, then they tried it with 2 cents, starting in 1864, and this is Otis 50. R.N. Daniels, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna commit right now. Everything's going out tomorrow. The stuff that I sell on Tuesday will take a little bit, unfortunately, but that is okay with me. Now let me see from this stack if there's some really interesting stuff. This is the one I was looking for. Gorgeous, large size Khusro dram. People might be interested in that. This is like a pretty nice, but there's like a little hole or like damage in the top. Maybe we'll do a larger. Those are the big Iranian coins. Everybody can let me know what they're most interested in seeing by going to the sidebar. And I had mentioned this one earlier. This is an obsolete currency. It's Mechanics and Savings and Loan Association. It's a 25-cent note. It's like an obsolete note or script, but you can see it used to be a $1 bill, but then they cut it in 4 and made these 25 cents. And you could say that they were paying 4% interest after 30 days notice payable to the bearer on return of this script in our current bank bills, signed right there by the person. So you're trusting in the Mechanics Savings and Loan Association that they would have the money to make good on their promise, and they did so by cutting up these bills into 25 cents. It's always interesting. This is another area of numismatics that I need to learn more about, but I'm pretty fascinated by that. And so, cool to be able to sell some of it tonight. This one's from Savannah, Georgia. So it was actually during the Civil War that this was occurring. Savannah was an important city, I believe, in the effort, just like generally had a lot of commerce, and of course still exists today in Georgia. So a nice piece of 1860s history there, and that one's going to go to ND Blah. After that, I did want to try out this while we have a lot of people here, because this is like a nicer end one. Like, check out the design in terms of how sharp it is. There's almost a bit of toning on the sides, but a lot of detail remaining on this Khusro II, 591 to 628 Sasanian Kingdom dram. Same carver that did Stone Mountain did Mount Rushmore. Wow, okay, that's interesting. Was not fully aware of that. I always like it when people share their own knowledge of history in the comments as well. And a nicer coin right here is almost going to go for 37, which would have been a monster steal from my perspective. So we'll see where this one ends tonight, but again, sort of the upper range of condition on these. I've transacted in different drams before, but this one, nice large planchet. It's a special coin, I think, and fun to find a home for it. Got one in my collection myself. Turn and Burn leading, and again, it's always cool to see what different pieces of history there are out there, and like how historic, this stuff. I mean, sure, it's got to be in museums somewhere, but it's like you get to curate your own little personal museum of world history. This one's Feudal France. We have this winged creature on the back. I bought a group of these, and not that I'm running out, but I think I'll sell one on Tuesday, and then I'll have to taper them from there on. And they're just pretty fascinating, like mini coins from medieval period. And then I'll try, I know I still have some US stuff, so again, let me know what you're most interested in, what you want to see in these auctions ready to go. So yeah, I mean, Still got a lot of neat inventory to go tonight. I'm excited about that. Still some, we got some great fractional silver. We got some interesting stuff from some other territories in the Islam world. We've got a lot of US stuff too. I figured I'll do this Troas coin and then let me know what US coin people are interested in having me sell, because I do still have a little bit of that as well. But this one, again, a Troas coin. Here we have this axe, like a two-headed axe, and then on this side we have the Janiform heads. It's been cut off a little bit, but that's sort of relatively frequent on these fractional Greek coins. It's just the sort of thing that happens. But even though we can see that level of detail on a coin that is, as old as it is, 450 to 387, fascinating, and I think a pretty good deal there for HBP. More of the same: medieval, Islam, Greek, Roman, ancient, foreign. The gravy. Do you want to see Morgans? I don't have. The U.S. is what you're most. Let's do a little bit of U.S. then. What is this? 1908. I do have mostly world left. The one that I just showed, I honestly forget what I just showed. There's a nice Antioch coin. I've got sort of a wide mix. But this one is a 1908D lion with a sword. Oh yeah, there was an Iranian one. That's a cool one. This one's going to go to Otis 50. Going to be a pretty quick sale there. Here's this nice Durham, and then I can do the lion one. But this one is, I think this is Shaban. Yeah, Shaban the second. Silver Durham from 1363 to 1376. No, I sold out of the US dollars. I have a really nice with toning. It's like AU, it's not uncirculated, but 1878S. It's my last one. I bought 3 of them. I've sold 2 of them so far. Morgan silver dollars, and I'll be selling those on Tuesday. So if you're not already bookmarking that, I'm going to be doing a final sale of the entire year, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, maybe a few minutes early for early birds. And that's going to be coming up on Tuesday as a last hurrah of my whatnot sales for this calendar year. So it'll be a little bit sad. But yeah, I'll have a few earlier stuff. I haven't sold any trade dollars. This one's going to go to November Lima. And this one, let's try a broad struck. That means it was struck out of the collar. You can see it's way expanded beyond what it should be, sort of like what's normal. This reverse shows it way better, but a gorgeous Roosevelt dime. You see how sort of the rim and is like totally distorted too. But broad struck, there's a term. So broad struck means that like the retaining collars, which should be like holding the planchet tight, are not fully doing that because it's so much force that hits these things that the metal is going to then expand out of the collar. You can have partial collar errors, and then if it's off center, that's when it's obviously not in the retaining collar, but the broad struck ones that aren't off center is when it's perfectly centered. It's the same thing. It's like off centers should technically, I believe, be broad struck. Mike B 2004 going to take that one, but a really cool error coin, and I recently purchased some other errors, so those will be sort of fun to sell. Here's sort of, people were asking about neat US coins. I don't know, I don't want to, I bought this coin. It's got like an interesting random bit of toning on the top. I bought this out in California from a coin dealer and thought that it was cool, a little bit of a dash of color in an interesting way. And then we've got obviously the nice US States portrait, but again, very pretty, classic commemorative $50 with great detail and toning on the front of the coin that adds a layer of uniqueness to it that I really like. That you can see the sort of that rainbow look to the coin. Let me try to get it perfectly in the light where you can see sort of that fiery crescendo of red, a little bit of green, blue, purple, but more so the yellows, reds, and oranges on that side of the coin. So Washington Carver, this was one of the last classic commemorative designs. They would then stop it in 1954. Mike B 2004 going to win this one. They stopped in 1954 and wouldn't be until 82, I think, when they came back with other commem designs. This is a 2000 dinar. I'm running out of these as well. I was able to pick up a group of them, but 2,000 dinar, so it's double the earlier denomination, 1908 under Muhammad Ali Qajar. Great line with the sword, really popular design. You can see the date 1326, and then a nice crown up top. But always a sort of beautiful planchet from my perspective as well. And that one's gonna go to HBP. Let's try this. This is a nice coin because it still has a bit of luster and just a nice look to it. It's from Jersey, which was under the domain of Queen Victoria. This is a 1/12 shilling coin. So I believe it's basically a penny, but they would just call it 1/12 of a shilling. A little bit of luster. I'd probably call this like AU. Yeah, that's where I would probably tab the coin. But so much detail in the hair just makes for a really nice coin and a bit unique. Ancient errors, yeah, for sure. Actually, a lot of the ancient errors, it's almost more common to have ancient errors, whether it's double struck stuff or off centers. They're really fun, and there was just like way lower standards when they struck that, so you get a lot of crazy stuff going on. This one's gonna go to Waterfall Coin. Congratulations. And we got, let's see, this one's a Galenius Antonianus, Roman imperial. Not sure who the mint is, but it looks like Valerian and Galenius are sacrificing something. Pietas, Augustus, Caracalla bronze brockage. Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, one of the axe coins, silver axe coins that I bought was a brockage, and I put that in my personal collection because I like errors and varieties. I mean, really, I like every type of coin that I sell, and I collect some of everything that I sell. So, just sort of interesting. But yeah, that's the, well, no, I don't think that it's an issue because I like so much different stuff. I get to connect so many other people. I think more so, I mean, I get to connect people here, but then I also get to make lots of YouTube videos about it, get people excited. I sold that feudal French one earlier. This is Luca, L-U-C-A, though they make those coins like look very similar. H is for Henricus, Imperator, and just this was sort of like one of the base units that the Crusaders would have been using, but they were known for their super crude strikes, and obviously that's coming across right here. So it's just sort of interesting there too. Yeah, but the Caracalla bronze brockage, what denomination was it? Otis 50 is going to win that one, so that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll try this Syracusan. I sold one earlier. I have one more, the Syracusan Litra. Actually pretty nice portrait, very clear with some of the detail even in between the trident. On this one, and these are pretty thick coins. It's 19 millimeters across, which isn't like the largest, but it's then 6.56 grams, so pretty heavy ancient coin in front of us. And I mean, even here, like this isn't an error, but you can see the rim on one side, like where it should be, and it's been struck the tiniest bit off center. That doesn't make it more valuable, but like, on a more minor level, that's what it is. Now, I would pay a lot for a nice brockage of a King Huron Litra. I think that would be really, really a phenomenal coin. A lot of history there. Let's see, what else though do we have? This is a Greek bronze, and let's see, this one is from Bactria with Demetrios I. It's a Dichalcon coin, and we've got, looks like Artemis here, Heracles on this side, but really, really nice ancient coin from about 200 to 185 BC. Okay, 82, 83 said. Okay, that's cool. And that's awesome that you're able to ID it yourself. I can ID some of the ancient coins, but I still like go to sources and collaborate with people who have knowledge so that they can help me identify, because I try to be very careful when I'm selling stuff. Like HBP gonna win that one. Good pickup. Make sure that accurately representing that sort of thing. We could do a mini World War II lot. I know I did some larger groups, but if people were feeling like they were missing out on the action, we've got a German, Third Reich German swastika coin, one Reichspfennig, 1/4 golden 1942 S, minted in America, Netherlands, East Indies. 1945 US, minted in Denver. Silver Philippines coin, 1943 shilling from Australia, and a 1944 sixpence. So a little allies versus the Axis. Oh, you bought it unclean. That makes more sense. What do you use? Do you put it in like some sort of a solution, or do you just use water, or how do you clean your ancients? The ones that I buy, I don't personally clean any ancients, but that's not something I have a problem with. Like, cleaning is much more accepted on ancient coins, though even then you want to be careful and don't do anything to ruin them in a bad way. But it's just like the standard is that a lot more people will clean ancient material. Colorado's gonna win there. Very well done. Let's see what else I've got though left. This was just sort of an interest one. I have no idea how high this is gonna go. I bought it, I got it in a grab bag, and it's a nice nickel 2005p, satin finish, graded specimen 67, but it's got this cool blue hue toning on the reverse, so got no idea what something like that should go for, but it's a pretty unique item, I think, and again, a little bit of toning on a more modern one. Yeah, nice portrait. What do people think? I mean, this is now the Jefferson portrait, or it was. I mean, we have a forward-facing Jefferson portrait versus the old one. I always liked the old one, but I know different people have different opinions, as is the case on like literally probably any issue in the world. But yeah, curious what everyone else thinks. Here we've got the Antioch coin. This one is a Tancred phallus, so this is a little bit later. Here we see ICXC Nika Christ Conquer, with again Tancred on the front. This is like Crusader states era, so Principality of Antioch is just like one of the Crusader states that's out there, and I always find it interesting. You know, it's just like a lot of history, and this one actually is a decent portrait. A lot of these come really, really worn, so it's nice actually to have one, you know, that looks decent, if I'm being honest. Just sort of, you know, very cool. The new Washington, yeah, what do people think about the Washington quarters? Yeah, I agree, A Boater, to be honest. Like, unless there's something really special about it, which I don't think there are on too many of them, on those Washington quarters, Washington and Jefferson. The thing is, there's actually some pretty cool errors that can be found on some of the new Washington quarters. Like, there's a lot of die breaks. Small group stack, we're gonna take that. I mean, again, that's probably the nicest Crusader states that I've sold. You know, a lot of people have been finding some cool stuff on the newer ones, with a bit of breakdown of the dies. 1722, very low, 19.4% silver, Swedish 1 ore, minted under King Frederick I. Find this one pretty cool though, just like how old that silver is. Actually, it's exactly 300 years old, so I don't know. I think that makes it a little bit more fun, but maybe that nobody else thinks that that's cool. But this is exactly 300 years old this year. You know, think back all the humanity, all the changes that have gone on since. You know, that's a long time ago that this one was produced. I'll try. This was sad. I was hoping that they would win the World Cup. I've got one of these tonight. It's a Moroccan Alawite Dynasty 1807 under Sultan Moulay Suleiman silver Durham coin. Very old, over 200 years old, from the northern part of Africa. And you have 1724 Sweden ore. That's cool. You know, we still got a good mix of coins to go, and I'm really excited about the next one. I mean, this one's cool too. I don't want to distract from it, to be honest, but I'm excited about so many different coins. Like, again, there's even some modern graded stuff that I've been selling. Storytime gotta go. Awesome, Aaron Daniels, great to have you here tonight, and yeah, glad you were able to stop by the show. Again, last one of the year gonna be on Tuesday at 7. Got some cool inventory prepped, and it'll be a nice way to close out the year. I'm also going to try to add some but you can also go pre-bid. So, yeah. Well, thank you, Lad1. I really try my best with it. This one, so this was minted. Here's why I was excited about it. During the time in ancient Judea that Jesus would have been walking the earth, This is Roman procurators under Marcus Ambivalus. Andrew F. I'll sell 3 Roman coins next. I think I have a few more than that, but I'll try to get some. This is sort of the era. This is Roman rule over Judea, which is pretty cool, I think, objectively. Kaikapak is, forget exactly what that means, but we can date this to 8 or 9 AD because of this palm branch, and then the A and the O in the design give us more clues as to the specific year. Get through the auction, yes. Thank you, A Boater. I've gotten my, I feel I appreciate that. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I feel like I am able to cover a lot of ground these days. Just with how I've got it set up, I put a lot of work and organization into the shows behind the scenes. I don't think, because I think like also there's something, and let's get some of those Roman. I have 2 Antonianus. We've got one. This one is the nicest condition. Choice XF or so. But yeah, I put a lot of effort into them behind the scenes. Here we have the Emperor also standing, which is, I just think is cool. Some nice luster on it. Great crown. I don't know what's going on in front of his mouth. Like that could be, well, I don't want to say that it's, okay, why is it not focusing? There we go. But am I an expert on ancient coins? I would say that I know a good bit about them, but I don't consider myself a hyper expert. Like I probably know more than your average collector. But if there's a real ancients expert, they're probably gonna blow me out of the water in terms of knowledge. So I got my start in U.S. and more modern world coins. So I feel like, yeah, I'm not. There's definitely better. Like if you're just gonna post to an online forum, like that's gonna be better most likely, just because of the diversity of knowledge. Like I try to be a bit more of a generalist. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's fair. If it's stuff that I'm buying though, right? Like I have to have some familiarity with what I'm buying. It's a little bit different when I'm just like looking at stuff, or if it's not stuff that I've had to buy, then I don't have to put in as much of the research to understand truly what it is. Andrew F, that's funny. Well, this one, I don't know what mint this one's from, but it's an Aurelian coin. Billion BI means, again, low percentage silver. Again, it's during the hyperinflationary period. We just saw 30 years earlier, it was a gorgeous coin, and then this one, I'm not calling it not gorgeous, it's an equally cool piece of history, but the design has worn down quite a bit more. This is our last Roman coin, I believe. I'll do some ancient Greek. Actually, I do want to mix in, I try not to just get hung up on one type of coin. So let me see if I've got here's a nice mix of Mercury dimes, and then I'll do a Roman one. My last Roman one, or maybe I'll do an ancient Greek and then a Roman one. This is a mix, 4 better date Mercury dimes in not super cull condition. We got 1918, that one, okay, no, that's 1918S. That one's 1918D, 1917, 17S. Very cool mix. Better you than me getting killed, that's funny. Andrew F, that's all. That's funny. I don't have a wife, but we'll see what she thinks about coins when we get there. So here we've got nice mix of Mercury dimes, and again, some cool type. I mean, decent details all through. And November Lima back in the lead. Really interesting. I don't have too much commentary outside of it. 2 of them are, or all of them are from the World War. I should have said that. It would have been a better selling device, but hey, it's cool that it went without that. World War I era coins. Now this one is a little earlier than World War I. It's a Constantius, Constantine the Great, nice larger size phallus coin, minted in Thessalonica. I've got one really nice tone rosy. I don't think I have a group of them, Rob D. And we've got Jupiter holding victory on this side. World War I was what, yeah, this one is a bit before. The previous one, 1914 to 1918, is when I view World War I as having. Oh, back in Kenny, that's super cool. That's great. And I try to sell these, again, super ID'd, so whether it's people who are experienced collectors adding to their collection and picking up like material that they don't currently own, or if it's like, okay, somebody wants to buy an ancient coin, it's so much more fun to like know the specific ruler and the years in which it was made. Thank you, JP. This one is going to be 1250 to 1251. It's an Ayyubid under Al Nasir Yusuf II. This actually looks pretty nice. Great, you know, really nice lettering. Very clear on this. It's minted at Dimashq, and so it's just a cool piece of, again, history. I've sold some. I want to say like 2 of these in the past that were in sparkling condition. This one's seen more wear, but sometimes that can also add to the history of it. So yeah, just an interesting one again. And Dimashq is nowadays Damascus. I actually somehow I didn't know that Tetra Bowl. Like that's the thing. Like I feel like I know stuff, but I somehow didn't even put together that Damascus. So that was minted in modern day Syria. So fascinating. Thank you for letting me know. This one is an off-center wheat penny. I think it's really cool because it's an off-center mint mark. Maybe you can ID which one that is, if it's 1930D or 30S. But I think that makes it cooler, and I love how worn down this is. I mean, check that out. 1 cent. You can hardly see the detail in the wheat years, and you know it's a mint mark 1930 coin. Isn't that cool? I thought that this was like, some collector would really enjoy it. Just even to think that like, this coin was so off center, and it still was through, you know, there. I'm getting a knock 1 second, or actually, I'm gonna finish out this auction, and, or not finish out this auction, but somebody has arrived to help me out in terms of processing some of it, so I'm gonna step away for the tiniest bit after the gravy one. But I'm trying to think, what should I do? I have about 30 more auction lots left, and so I figured I'm just gonna touch base briefly, but I've got, you know, I have some graded coins here, and, you know, a really nice variety overall. But we're sort of getting to the tail end. I'm just gonna say, could you put these, well actually, everybody say hi. Rocco has arrived. You may recognize him from some of our videos, but he does a lot of work behind the scenes at Treasure Town. He's a specialist in Croatian coins as well. He's pretty interested in Cilician Armenia coins too, so he's helped out on that front in the past. But maybe you could sort them, and then we'll get continuing by. So you get a lot of people saying hi, Rocco. But you can see him on our website, and he is Rocco. You're the leading scorer on the water polo team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocco's the leading scorer. We both played on the Princeton water polo team this past season, so you know, he's been featured on the Instagram a few times. But 1899 Barber quarter. Sorry for that little pause, but I figure it's also a good opportunity to introduce to the team. Actually with pretty decent detail here on it. So a little bit of detail in the Liberty up top, and it's a nice coin. You know, great type coin. I just think, you know, again, good detail and very fun to be able to own this and, you know, have it in the collection briefly, but then pass it on to a different home as well. And we're going to figure out which home that is. ND Blog going to take that one. Next up, we've got this 475 to 430 BC. You can see the head of a gorgonion on this side. It's a hemidram, half dram, incuse punch, but in the early Mysian coinage, that was sort of to be expected. And so a coin that is about 2,450 years old, silver. I just think that that's really, really cool. And you see, I mean, it's like a threaded punch as well. There's like a mini square with 9 different squares within it. So it's got some character to it in a cool way. And I like that. I really enjoy the coins that do have that added bit of character to them. Whether it's, yeah, I mean, that just takes a lot of different forms. But that one's going to go to Alan. Which one is this? Is this a Selim the Great, I want to say? Yes. No, this is a Mehmet II. So I have not sold any of the Mehmet coins. So I'm excited. Again, I've sold different rulers in the past. This is a first-time ruler, 1461. Remember, they had taken over the Ottoman Empire. This was after a really important part in their reign. They had taken over the Greek Constantinople 8 years prior, or they backdated these. I mean, it could have been like 1470 when this was minted, but the official date on this is 1461, and it's a really fun coin from that perspective. So I have not sold any of Mehmet II previously, but smaller, and it was also his second reign. So Mehmet had different times in which he was in charge of the Ottoman throne, and P.D. Blah is going to take that one, but another great piece of history. Let's try this. This is a reverse proof. I don't know, I think, well, the other one that I sold was reverse proof as well. 2018, why is this not coming up? Oh yeah, here it is. Nice. Proof 70, Cumberland Island in Georgia. Proof silver quarter. Reverse proof, of course, you see sort of that reverse look on this side as well, where with a super flashy design detail, and then on this side, it's like, yeah, again, the what should be in relief, like it's frosty in the background, and then in the forefront of the coin has that super cool proof contrast. So I just find these to be pretty cool. Otis 50, currently in the lead here, and again, very high standard for grading these. Proof 70, can't come by that super easily, so they're always cool to have that there. This one is a World War I era, and I think that 1918 is going to mean it's from the Melbourne Mint, Australian 1 shilling, 92.5% silver. Nice crown there, still has some solid detail. I mean, again, it's seen wear, but I believe from what I've seen, many of these do come in pretty worn condition. And so, you know, sort of to be expected. But it's a very fun item. Nice crest. You got the kangaroo and the emu. And so, yeah, always interested in nice pieces of world history like the one at hand. And P.D. Blah is going to take that one as well. Let's see. I've got one of these. I always try to sell one per sale. This is a Dama coin. So it's the Ghaznavid dynasty, and this one has pretty nice lettering on it, though it's a small silver coin. But remember, back then, ya boy, nice night, have a nice night, sleep tight. Yeah, these I always think, you know, they pack a lot of historical punch. Mahmud was reigning for 2 years, from 1005 to 1006, but more likely 1010 to 1030. I feel like that 11th century, you just don't hear quite as much about it, and so, you know, it's cool to have a coin from it. Nice Islamic piece of history. I still have some U.S. stuff too, so just not that I've forgotten about that. But November Lima gonna take that one. Maybe we'll do this 1912 Barber half dollar. You know, again, these are always fun type coins. Just good, appealing look to it. You know, it's worn down, but still has enough detail where it can be like a fun for people interested in the U.S. side of stuff. I've still got some seeded coins. I've got a nice mix still available tonight, and then of course we'll end things off with a giveaway. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I is that how you? I assume that's a cool play on words. I1 says that's your first purchase from me. Congratulations. If you have the credit, maybe you even get that for $4 plus ship. Should be a really good deal. But 1891 Cedar Liberty quarter from TJ Bose 87. Chata gonna jump in front, $39. San Francisco coin though, and again, earlier item. That one's gonna go to Chata. Let's see what this one. Ooh, that's actually a really nice portrait. I must have picked the two nicest Antioch coins. Nice Crusader state, and great reverse. It says, oh no, is this a cross with Nika? Yeah, I guess, cross with IC Nika? I don't know. I think that this might be something, a slightly different reverse, HBP, so everybody bidding. I think it might be a slightly different reverse, but it also could be Jesus Christ Conqueror. Either way, it's going to be from like the very early 1100s, but just want to clarify for all the bidders, I'm not totally sure that it's the Jesus Christ Conquer, because it is the same 16-6, so I'm a bit confused, but just know that the ID may be slightly off, but it's going to be a Tancred coin in great condition, and nice halo there in the reverse, great eyes portrait. I just haven't seen them come with this level of detail, which is really cool to observe. Often they're like beaten to a pulp and can't even see them. So very fun portrait though, and a lot to it. Yeah, again, I can't say enough how much I enjoy transacting these, and that one's gonna go to Small Group Stacker. Congratulations. Let's see what else. This one is a nice World War II era, though Mexico is not very involved. 1944 Mexico 50 centavos. Again, I'll have a Spanish colonial 1797 8 reals coming up, and that's not in tonight's sale. That's in Tuesday night. You know, again, big blowout sale. Can't miss it. It's gonna be, I don't know. I think it'll be crazy. I don't want to promise it'll be crazy. It won't. But I think a lot of people are gonna be there, and I think I might also have to juice the giveaways there for that. Get some hype. Tito V, gonna win that coin. Let's see, this one is a shield nickel, 5-cent piece. Early, it's the no raise design. So again, I had referenced that earlier, but they took off the raise of these coins because they were breaking down the dies, and it costs a lot of money to strike coins. You know, it's something that you can't forget. There is, you know, a big cost in producing coins, so the U.S. government just views it as like, here's how we're going to facilitate commerce. We're going to produce coins, and they need to do that in a cost-efficient, cost-effective manner. So they removed those rays from the dies. But just sort of a fun fact, and I always like to make sure everybody knows all the things that I think are cool about the coins in front of them, because it like matters what history there is. That one's gonna go, and we've got this one. I don't have the shipwreck paperwork for it, but I bought them from a source, and I mean, it looks like it was shipwrecked. 1808 East India Company, large planchet, 20XX cash, and that was a empire. They sort of, the East India Company somewhat folded, and I think it went bankrupt in like 1798. I think that there was a bit of remaining. This was like Madras currency, I believe, too, but would have been trading sort of around the Indian Ocean generally is like the guidance that I like to give. But there were a ton of these coins that ended up getting shipwrecked to the bottom of, I think, the Indian Ocean. It could be some other ocean. Forgive me if I'm getting it wrong. And so this probably sat for many, many years, but it's fun to have it recovered back on Earth and in pretty good condition. You know, this one is a nice, attractive planchet coin that's going to go to Wymont. This next one, again, don't get to sell too much. Okay, what just happened? Something a little bit crazy happened. All right, we'll start this auction. Nice, very lustrous Uruguayan 20 centésimos coin with Artigas on this side of it. I just think that it's pretty, and I really like how the grain looks. It reminds me even of the Prudas that we were looking at earlier, the Herod Agrippa from 37 to 44 AD. I think I'm going to have one of those in Tuesday night sale. I'm definitely not going to have any Uruguayan silver though in the Tuesday sale. So November Lima leading on this one. Then we've got this Byzantine coin here. This is a Class C anonymous phallus. And this is going to say Jesus Christ Conquer, N-I-K-A. That's what that means. I mean, it's really worn on the side. You can even see a bit of corrosion for people who are looking to source a pretty attractively priced, potentially, Jesus Christ anonymous phallus. This is going to be your coin, but that portrait, I mean, you can even see sort of what's behind him, the outline of the body, a little bit of the detail, but a lot of the detail has been worn just given the age of it. You know, at this point, 980 or so years old. The coin's obviously going to have been through a fair amount. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a cool piece of history, though, in a way that, you know, for people who are interested in Christianity as well, there's like so much history attached to it that I just like, I'm always blown away by owning them, and I get to purchase these. I have some of these in my collection, and it makes it really fun. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And yeah, strong cross here dividing that lettering. Maybe we'll get into this 1883 first year no sense V nickel. It looks like maybe there's a tiny cleaning to it, but it also is in a really nice condition. There's no cents here, because what people would do, they would make what are known as racketeer nickels. They would plate these with gold and then just say, oh, it's the new gold coin design. It says V for 5 on it, and then they would trade it. And back then, $4.95 profit was a huge amount. So people were basically printing whatever, like $500 bills or more for their own. So then midway through the first year, they put the cents right here and replaced that E pluribus unum. So these were short-lived. And because of that, a lot of people saved them, so they're not as rare as they could have been. But it doesn't mean that they're not rare. It just means that, you know, it's a 1 year type, less than 1 year, and they would have some other types that year as well. So, all to say, very cool coin, and it, you know, we remember a lot of the U.S. coin history as a result. Some nice luster, and let me know in chat what your 2023 New Year's goals. I was thinking of making that video sometime for early 2023, but like my coin collecting goals and discussing a little bit of that with everyone. I haven't figured it out yet, but I feel like it would be fun, and it's like a very low pressure thing. Like if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to be too worried, but maybe there's a new set that I'm going to embark on collecting. Right here we've got 8 different Ottoman Empire Manjir coins from the 14th to the 17th century AD. And I just find that super cool. So these are 8 coins from about 1300 to 1699, minted under different rulers. With a bit more work, I'm sure you could identify them. Maybe not all of them, but certainly a good amount of them, and it would be a really good way to cheaply get into these Ottoman coins, again, from a very early time period. Just so much history attached to them, and figured that I could try a little group lot for somebody looking for a deal. And so that's going to go to Weinlot at less than $3 a coin, which I think is pretty sweet. Let's see. Do people want a fiery Roosevelt dime? We'll find out. Really nice toning on this one. Let's see what the back looks like. Also has some fire to it, a little bit of reds and, mostly oranges and yellows. I actually don't see too much in the way of red. But again, I like the fire. Probably along the lines of what generally is my favorite type of toning. So, pretty cool. Nice little coin there. But fascinated, as always, by the different array of toning that's even available on coins. Some people prefer sort of the green or the blue look. And right here we've got 1310 to 1341 Islamic states, Mamluk Sultanate. These always come pretty crudely struck, and so that's no exception with this one. But under Sultan Muhammad's third reign, he was came off the throne twice, which was sort of fascinating. And oh, that's really cool, TJ. Yeah, he was booted off the throne twice. This was his third, his comeback round. November Lima is going to win it. And those have been a little bit weaker on whatnot, just an observation, not a complaint or anything. It's just like noticed that. So I'll have to think about that going forward. This one is a nice 1960 Mid-State 65 Washington Silver Quarter, graded by PCGS. Got a tiny bit of toning, but it's mostly just solid, well-struck coin. And yeah, these are always cool. I like, PCGS graded stuff. I hadn't been selling as much PCGS, but I figured for the final sales of the year, I would want to bring it back out, and that's what I did. So again, actually, when I look at it in that light, there is a bit of toning across the coin, so it's pretty cool. But Otis 50 wins that one. let's see what else we've got. We can do a, this is an early coin, 1860. We could get this London and Birmingham, Osborne, Garrett and Co. 8 pence Barber's check token from the United Kingdom. 8D. The reason that the D is used, somebody reminded me in this in one of the other streams, is it stems from Denarius as the base unit. And so I just think that that's pretty cool. Like instead of pence, it's not like a P. It looks like that did not sell, so that's okay. Maybe I'll come back and sell it at the end with a lower start price, but we got a Seeded Liberty dime here, 1891. I like PCGS just because on the higher end coins, they're generally going to command the upper end in terms of value. So, if there's a really expensive coin, this is just something for everyone to know. Say it's like a $5, $10, $15,000 coin, it's going through one of the major auction houses or a dealer's hand, they're probably going to try to cross it over to PCGS just because whether it's the wholesale market or the retail collector market, there's a perception that the best coins end up in PCGS holders, so people want their coins in PCGS holders. Just a fun fact. There's some collectors that disagree, they prefer a different way. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but when it comes to even like what I would do with some of my nicest coins, I'm going to be sending them to PCGS over NGC, but that can change. And then there's the CAC grading service. I think that people should take a good look at that. It's going to be a question if that CAC grading service is going to be able to take meaningful market share. But listen, John Albanese, the founder of CAC, also founded PCGS. He also founded NGC. Tony Island coins. I have a ton of ancient coins. They're going to be all ready to go on Tuesdays. I have some, I think, from the 1400s left, but I don't have anything older than that. Actually, I'll sell some of my other really nice old coins. Bullock 72 currently leading on that one. Nice Swedish coin, taking a little loss, and that's okay with me. Here's a really nice jeton for people who have been waiting around. Oh wow. I'm gonna hype this coin up a little bit because I think it's that nice. Tiny spot of corrosion right there, just want to make clear, but it has a really nice portrait of King Louis the 14th in a way that I haven't seen on a lot of them. And yes, there's no PCGS Ancients. Really cool design on the front of it. Magno Concilio. You have a very nice globe and then lots of detail in whatever. It's a hand, fleur-de-lis, and sun on this side. But I think that one's like a really cool design. And ND Blog gonna take that one. Great piece of history. Excited to do that. Let's see. 1911, 6 pence under King George. Sterling silver, so that's why it's still putting it up on its own here with the nice luster that it does have, and always interesting. November Lima, Colorado, everybody hanging out. We've got 3 more lots, and then we'll do a giveaway. Ancient collectors, yes. The yen is gone, Tito. It's sold in the group lot, in one of the group lots. I forget exactly which one. But I gonna take that one, and we'll do, it says that there's a few more. One of these I need to actually prevent, and I'm worried, yeah, there's a really, this one is a 1481, Ottoman Empire, Bayezid II, silver axe coin. You can see how the axe coins not degenerate, but like they get a bit smaller as the years go on compared to that first one that was so nice that I sold. That was Bayezid I in the late 1300s. So just sort of interesting to see that over time what happens with the coinage. And Bullock 72 currently leading here. Again, anything could happen. Gonna go, and I find a lot of stuff at the end goes for, I would just call them attractive prices. I'm gonna take down the 1889 medallion. I'm gonna have that one available next sale, and then this one 1899 to 1923 Great Britain. This one, this 3 pence from 1860. I just need to make a note that it does have this hole in it, or like damage. And then, as a result, I'm gonna run these last one just for a dollar. I think that this,
I'd say it's likely. I mean, I think that's been a bit clean too. So I'm gonna run it for a $1 auction, 1860. There's a bit of damage above Queen Victoria's head, but for people for looking for a nice portrait of Queen Victoria, you have it here. So we'll see where it ends up, but that makes sense. And then this one as well, I'll try it for $1. People looking for an Osborne, Garrett and Co. 8p Barber's check token, just like a different piece. Again, I try to also have just some eccentric stuff that you wouldn't find other places on my sales, and I think that this certainly occupies that spot just for being sort of a unique addition if people are looking to add some random stuff to their collection. It's got the Incuse #1. Presumably people would be using this to pay, and so they would sort of issue it privately as an 8p coin. And you know, just I like stuff like this where there's significance behind it, and that's what I think I'm going with. I'm not sure about the legality in Britain. I know that there's a lot of similar ones like it. I'm gonna take that one in the end, and so I know like in America it wasn't legal, but it was so important that we had that. So it made a lot of sense. Again, this one's a bit clean, but you're getting it for $0, and I'm paying for shipping. Let's draw the winner. I'm gonna give about, let's say it's right after 10, so been going live for a little over 3 hours. I'm gonna say not too much time, 20 seconds. I'm super excited though. I would recommend going and bookmarking it now so you remember, but we're gonna do a final year-end sale. I've got some really nice material coming. Some similar stuff to what I sold here, but a lot of it is different at the same time. I'm sure you kind of know what I mean. Like a lot of similar themes on the coins. That's awesome, Ms. Bell. Thanks for coming and hanging out, everyone. Such a fun atmosphere. And so, yeah, I'll look forward to seeing. I'm going to draw this winner. I'm going to stop the stream that I have going on YouTube at the moment, just so that I don't forget about that. And I'll do 30